guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today I felt like doing a future spouse video for you guys. It's been quite some time since we did the last one, so I thought it would be nice to do an updated version of this reading today. So of course we're going to be figuring out who your future spouse is. I do want to take a look and see if you guys maybe know who this person is already or not. And we'll also get into how you guys are gonna meet. Of course, we'll look at their personality, possible zodiac signs, what they do, and what the relationship is gonna be like between the two of you. So yeah, I do expect this one to get pretty long because we have a lot of details to go over. And just before we get into it, there was a sort of, I don't know if you would call this a disclaimer, but just something that I wanted to address before we get into the reading. You guys, of course, you are 100% free to choose whomever you want as a future spouse. So if for whatever reason you don't really like the person who is being described in this reading, or if you're just not 100% happy, this in no way is meant to tell you who you're inevitably going to end up with. Even from a soul perspective, there is no one specific person that our soul has to or is meant to end up with, so to speak. Of course, our soul may choose to meet certain soulmates throughout their incarnation, but what you do with those relationships as a human, it's entirely up to you. So what I do want to take a look at in this reading is which of your potential future spouses is likely to make an entrance into your life based on the current path that you guys are on. So I guess please don't take this as the be all end all of who you're inevitably going to end up with. Okay, I just wanted to say that before getting into it. I'm sure you guys know already. As tarot readers, we're just meant to confirm things that you're already feeling or that you already know. And if something doesn't resonate with you, you can entirely throw it out the window. But anyway, I just felt like clarifying that first. So let's take a look at our piles now. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. So I'm going to show you each of the crystals one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Oh, and on that note, if you did feel drawn to more than one crystal today, please feel free to watch 2, 3, however many readings you want, and you can think of them as, your potential future spouses, because we do have options, okay? So anyway, let's take a look at the crystals. So number 1 is Spirit Quartz. Number 2 is Kyanite. Number 3 is Calcite with Pyrite. And number 4 is Chrysocolla. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to, and I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones. So if you guys chose the Spirit Quartz, this is going to be a reading all about your future spouse. So what I can tell right away from your selection of the Spirit Quartz is that you guys might be in the future married to somebody who is a spiritual person. So they have spiritual practices, or maybe they are spiritually gifted, whether they realize it or not. I wouldn't be surprised if this person does have some gifts, have a lot of spiritual or psychic potential. I also think that your future spouse is someone who is really invested in their self-discovery and their self-actualization. This is someone who strives to be as self-aware as possible, who wants to become as mature as possible, as evolved as they possibly can, and is really working on healing and getting to know themselves on a deepest level. So I think this is, somebody that you can have a really healthy relationship with. And then one more thing that I'm getting from them is that they will have this kind of dreamy quality to them. And I know that's kind of a vague, it's kind of a vague thing to say, but it could be something in their eyes, in their voice, in the way they look at you, in the way they move, in the way they express themselves. It could just be something about their aura. But when you meet this person, it's like you'll find that there is something ethereal about them. There is something otherworldly about them, almost as if you cannot believe they are real. They may just be super beautiful, but yeah, there's something like dreamy about them. I hope that you can understand what I'm trying to say. So let's get into your cards. As you can tell, I have a fat stack of cards here, so I'm gonna do my best not to ramble for too long on each of them. Try to get this video done before the sun goes down. And let's start with your Moon Oracle cards. So what I want to tell from these cards is whether you guys know this person yet or not. Like if you've met them, if you know of them, we'll see what's going on with these two cards. And because we have two, they'll give us like two possible scenarios for you guys. So the first one that we have is Take Time to Breathe Out with the Disseminating Moon. And then we have Hold Your Vision with the Fixed Moon. Okay, so I am seeing a couple different scenarios for you guys here with regards to your future spouse. I actually think a lot of you guys, at the very least, you know of this person. Some of you have been talking to them or you have been involved with them before, but it seems like right now, maybe you guys aren't talking as much as you used to, or there's been a little bit of a silent period in your connection. Not like you had a complete falling out. I don't really see that for this pile, but it's like maybe you guys used to message each other every day and now things have kind of gone quiet, or somebody's being a little bit distant. And so maybe it's kind of a confusing time where you don't really know where this connection is going. I just see like something that was very constant, very frequent at one point and is kind of like maybe plateaued, like it's standing still or something like that. So that could definitely be the case for some of you guys. Like you just haven't spoken to this person in a while, but you do know them. And then for others of you, when there's like a half moon like this is kind of a yes and no situation. So this could be something like you know them, but you haven't met in person. So for example, in the case of a long distance relationship, or maybe you guys have a mutual friend, a mutual acquaintance, a mutual coworker. So like you've heard of them, you've heard stories about them, maybe you've seen them around, but you haven't really gotten a chance to talk to them before, you know? So it could be something like this. You know of them, you know who they are, but you haven't spoken to them yet, or you haven't met them in person yet. This could also be a case of like you know them, but they don't know you. There are some scenarios in which that can happen. And then it can also be something like you know this person energetically. So maybe you've had dreams about them before, you have picked up on them, maybe you've actually seen what they look like through dreams, like I said, or through meditations. So it's like you're familiar with their energy, but you just haven't met them in the 3D yet. So those are the different scenarios for this pile. But I think most of you at least have an idea of who this is, like you know of them. That seems to be the case for most of you guys. And then also looking at the messages of Take Time to Breathe Out and Hold Your Vision. It could be that some of you are getting a little bit antsy when it comes to meeting this person or when it comes to getting together with them. And so your guides are coming through to tell you to relax, breathe. It's going to be okay. And keep holding on to your vision. Keep visualizing, keep dreaming about your future, because it is going to come. So it's like just relax and be patient. Nothing has gone wrong and everything's going to be okay, basically. All right, so the next cards that we have, these are months of the year. I have 3 months of the year here, and these can really be anything. It could be the birth month of your future spouse, or it could be a significant month of your relationship, like the month that you guys are going to meet or that you're going to get married, something like that. So pay attention to these, because if you know somebody who was born in this month or that you met in this month, that could be a confirmation for you that this is the person the reading is talking about. So the first month that we have here is August and July. and January. So your future spouse could be born in August, July, or January, which gives us the zodiac signs of Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius. That's what we have here so far. Or these can also be months, like you met somebody in this month, or you get together in this month, you get married in this month. It could really be anything, but if you see any confirmations here, please take those. So moving on, we're gonna see the circumstances of the two of you meeting each other. So here we have attachment and action. Oh, and also pay attention to the numbers here. These might be significant numbers. Like if you see the number 5 or 17 frequently, it could be a date that you guys meet this person or their birth date. Like they're born on the 5th or the 17th. And this actually even makes a date like May 17th. So that could be a significant day as well. So as for the circumstances of the two of you meeting each other, it seems like you guys will meet when one of you is going through some kind of transition. Here we have the transition between attachment and action, and you can see this person is stuck where they are. And then here it's like breaking free. So it's like somebody's breaking free from a cycle. Maybe somebody is moving, maybe somebody is changing jobs. They're moving out of a situation in their life that has been stagnant and unfulfilling, and they're starting this new chapter that is like free and it's full of unknowns, but it's very exciting. So it seems like one or both of you is going to be going through a kind of major transition in your life when you guys meet. And I'm also noticing, I like to pay attention to, you know, the environment and the sky and all of these things. This to me looks very much like nighttime, while this looks like, you know, the sun is just rising, it's morning. So you guys might, and this, like, take it how it resonates, but you guys might spend the night together, like the first time you meet. Like you might meet each other at night and you stay together until the morning. What you're doing during that time, I don't know, but that's just, I see the transition of the skies here. So it could be that you guys just, you hit it off, you get along really, really well, and you end up spending many, many hours together. This also looks like a relatively warm-ish season, so maybe it is the summertime that you guys are going to meet, but I mean, even January can look like this depending on where you are in the world, but yeah, just pay attention to that. You guys might be meeting outside as well, because I think both of these are outside. And maybe one of you is going to be, I don't know if you could call this dressed up, but she is wearing a dress. And I know I certainly don't wear dresses unless I'm trying to look fancy. I'm trying to look nice. So maybe one or both of you guys is going to be like dressed up nicely for the occasion, like you're going on a nice outing together. It does feel like a date. So maybe the first time you guys meet is like a formal date situation. Okay, yes. Oh, also, both of these have the letter A, like they both start with the letter A, which I just noticed. So that could be an initial of your future spouse, like their first or last name, or middle name, I guess, starts with the letter A. Yeah. Or maybe the place that you meet starts with an A. Anyway, so the next thing that we're going to look at is your first impressions of each other. So how you feel about each other when you have first met, and then how you feel about each other after you have known each other for some time. So first we're going to look at your first impression of your future spouse. Your first impression of your future spouse is the 9 of Cups. So you are going to like this person right from the start. Can you not? I'm trying to film something right now. You guys, I am sorry. I love my new apartment. I love it, but she's noisy. I'm like right on a busy street, so Probably you guys have been hearing cars in the background and stuff like that. And every now and then we get a particularly vocal guest in our video. So just bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. So as I was saying, I feel like you guys are going to like this person right off the bat. I do see you guys sort of developing a crush, having butterflies right from the first time you see them. If you guys are exchanging messages before you actually meet in person, I see you guys developing a crush really, really early on. And then when you meet them in person for the first time, they do not disappoint. And you know, sometimes like you meet someone in person for the first time and it's just not it. It's just different than what you imagined and the butterflies kind of die away. This person is meeting or even exceeding your expectations of what you imagined they would be. I think you find this person very attractive. Like we mentioned before, you're going to find them very dreamy. I think you find this person very kind as well. And maybe they're gonna do something very generous for you the first time you guys meet. So maybe if you guys are on a date, they are gonna offer to pay for everything, or they're going to bring you a gift, maybe bring you flowers, something that's kind of unexpected. Or they may offer to help you in a very significant way that, you know, is really kind and really stands out to you. So they might, you know, go out of their way to give you a lot of advice or to help you with your career or with a certain goal. And you're thinking like, oh my gosh, we just met. You don't have to be so nice to me, but they just are so nice. I'm not really seeing this as like a total full-blown love at first sight situation. It's not like you meet and you immediately know that you want to marry this person, but it's more like they really exceeded your expectations. They're really sweet, they're attractive, you like them, and so you will definitely want to see them again and see where this goes. But it's not like super intense or anything. I think you guys will be more than happy to just take it slow and see how things unfold. But yeah, this person makes you very, very happy. So let's see what their first impression is of you. And we have the Six of Pentacles. Interesting. You guys might know this card has been coming out quite a bit in my readings recently. And you might also know that when it comes to relationships, I do like to think of this as, you know, a spirit guide or a higher power who is bringing these two people together. And interestingly, in this deck, the two people are staring at each other in a way that looks, I don't know, it looks very intense to me. And this is like the sweet, benevolent spirit guide who has brought these two people together. So I do think that this is a fated relationship. I do think that this is a soulmate relationship. I think you guys have a shared spirit guide or angel who is watching over you and who orchestrated this whole encounter. And so for your future spouse's first impression of you, I think that they're definitely going to feel this element of fate. Maybe they just feel that the way you guys were able to find each other and the way you guys were able to come together, it was just so serendipitous. When you guys get to talking and getting to know each other, you might find that there are a lot of similarities in your story, in your experiences, in your preferences, like really specific things that stand out to them. Maybe this person hasn't met anybody in a very long time, or maybe even ever, who they have been able to relate to so much that they feel they have so much in common with and that they're so similar with. Yes, okay. For some of you guys, your future spouse is kind of weird in a good way. Like they're very unique, very interesting, unusual type of person. And so maybe it's not every day that they meet somebody who is like them, who relates to them, or who understands them. And so when they meet you and you guys have the same quirks and you have the same weirdness, that's going to be really impressive to them. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, how was I so lucky to meet someone who I just vibe with and I just get like this? And so maybe that's why they feel the element of fate. I think that your future spouse is a little bit shy, which you will feel they have no reason to be shy because they're so brilliant, they're super attractive. I think your future spouse is like conventionally attractive. Like a lot of people find them to be very beautiful or very handsome, but they're a little bit shy and they're a little bit awkward and maybe they're a little bit insecure. And so usually when they meet somebody for the first time, they still feel kind of uncomfortable or awkward. But what really stands out to them about you is that the conversation is going to flow really, really well. Like, there's not really any awkward pauses or, you know, thinking about, oh my gosh, what should I say next? What should I talk about next? It's not like one person is doing all the talking or coming up with things to talk about. It's just super natural. Like, you're both, I'm thinking of the Six of Pentacles being like evenness and equality. So it's like you're both putting in the same effort to the conversation. You're both sharing your ideas and it's just flowing really, really well in a way that they are not used to with somebody that they've met for the first time. So in a way, I wouldn't say they feel like a familiarity, but they feel a comfort for sure. They feel like they can get to know you very well, very fast, and that's very remarkable to them because that doesn't happen with very many people. This is not the type of person who is able to just like let loose and open up to anyone because they have that shyness to them. So you just make them feel very, very comfortable. They feel they have a lot in common with you, and they do feel like it was either a miracle or just a really, really happy coincidence that they were able to meet you. They may also be very interested in your career. So if you tell them about what you do for a living or, you know, what projects you're working on right now, I feel like they're going to be very interested in that. They're going to want to hear a lot about it. Even if it's like not even related at all to what they're doing or to what they can do, they're just super interested. I think they're going to be very impressed with your accomplishments, very impressed with what you're doing. And they find you to be very responsible too. Like, they feel like you have a really good head on your shoulders and you seem like a very stable person to them. So as far as first impressions go, this looks really, really nice on both sides. So now let's take a look at how you will feel about each other once you are in the relationship and you've gotten to know each other better. So how you're going to feel about your future spouse is the Queen of Pentacles. And in my opinion, this is a really, really nice transition if your first impression was the Nine of Cups, because we saw you here feeling like, you know, you still didn't know about anything serious or about the long term, but you really wanted to get to know them and to see where things went. And this is like, everything turned out so beautifully. So once you did get to know them more, you realized, yep, this is the person I can see myself with for a very, very long time. Oh, this is also an earth sign. So your future spouse may be an earth sign, sun, moon, rising, Venus. But they're very, once you get to know them and once they open up to you and they feel comfortable with you, they're very warm, caring, nurturing, generous. I noticed we said generous over here too in your first impression, and that's really nice because I don't know if you guys have ever been like on a first date with somebody and they're being really nice and generous, but it's kind of like you realize later that they were just trying to make a good first impression and get you to like them, and then once they get comfortable with you, they stop being generous. I know I've had that experience before, but you'll realize whatever generous thing they did for you the first time you met, this was not just like, you know, to get on your good side or to flatter you or to get you to like them. That was their genuine personality. This person is incredibly caring, incredibly loving, incredibly generous, and they are going to be something like a rock for you. They're this constant home, this constant presence in your life that you can always come to if you just need support, if you just need somebody to listen. They're so giving and so nurturing. This person may be very snuggly. I'm also getting that. Very snuggly. They give you the best hugs. They might make you some really nice food as well. They just want you to feel completely cared for and completely supportive. And you're gonna really fall in love with this person when you watch them extend their kindness to others. So this can really be something as simple as, when you go out on dates, they're really, really kind and friendly and generous to the staff, to the people who are serving you, or they go out of their way to help strangers. Maybe you see how they treat their friends or how they treat their clients and coworkers, and they're just so genuinely kind, and that's going to make you really, really fall in love with them and really respect their personality. I also feel that they're gonna have some very significant accomplishment in their career, like while you guys are dating. So maybe when you first met, they just had an idea of what they wanted to do with their career. So they were telling you about their aspirations, what they were planning to do. And as you are dating them, you get to watch it happen. You get to watch them level up and move up in the way that they were dreaming of, in the way that they were planning. You get to watch them succeed. You get to watch them thrive and become this amazing version of themselves. So I think you guys are going to be really, really proud of your future spouse. I think they will end up like having their own business, because with the Queen and King of Pentacles, I often see, this like self-made, successful business person kind of energy. That may not be the case when you first met them, but you will like get to watch this transformation happen. So they're becoming independent, they're becoming abundant. And that's going to be really nice to see. But yeah, after you get to know them, you realize they're like the sweetest. Why was I thinking cupcake? Anyway, the sweetest little cupcake ever. Okay, so how is your future spouse going to feel about you after you guys have gotten to know each other more? Six of Swords. I forgot to charge my camera last night, so it already died on me. So I just had to give her a moment to charge, and I'll just start over from what I was saying with the Six of Swords. As you can see the image here, this person is paddling away from the storm and into the clear waters, into the sunshine. So this is making me think of working through the tough times and like weathering a storm, so to speak. So this is how your future spouse feels about you after you guys have gotten to know each other. And I think that you really make this person feel hopeful for the future, no matter what tough stuff they have been through in their past, no matter how hard things have been for them, or even how hard things are for them in the present moment. You make them feel like the two of you can weather any storm together, you can work through anything together, and they know that the future is going to be bright with you there. In the past, this person may have been in relationships with people who were not very stable or not very consistent with them. Maybe the type of people who would jump ship when things got difficult and wouldn't really work through things with them. And I have a feeling that for this reason, maybe your future spouse is a little bit reluctant to share when they're struggling or to share when they feel things are going wrong, because they're so used to being abandoned when conflict arises. So the fact that you are like a safe place for them to work through this conflict, or the fact that you validate their emotions, that makes them feel very, very safe. I don't think that they've had something like this before. And you might notice that they get really emotional when there's like a minor disagreement or a minor conflict in your relationship. And that's because they think that inevitably you're going to leave them if something goes wrong, or you're going to stop loving them, because that's what they've experienced in the past. So maybe the first time, like when you guys have your first fight, or when you're dealing with your first kind of tough situation together, and you're talking through a solution with them and how we're going to move forward, I think that's going to be like a shock to them. Like, what, you mean you're not mad at me, or you're not going to leave me? And it's like, no, we're going to work through this together. That's what couples do. And so I just feel like that's maybe something they've never experienced before. And you give this person a lot of hope that the two of you can work through anything together. I think they're going to be releasing a lot of painful memories of the past as well through this happy and healthy relationship with you. They find you very easy to talk to again. So this is consistent with their first impression of you. You make it very easy for this person to open up, to talk about how they're feeling, to share their ideas with you, and they really genuinely appreciate that. Also, I'm just thinking of, here we talked about somebody making a transition, and that's how you guys were going to meet each other. And then this is about, like, the Six of Swords can also be about relocation or travel or moving. So for some of you guys, this may actually be like someone from another city or even from another country, and they're going to move to be with you. Like, they're gonna leave their hometown or leave their current situation so that they can be in the relationship with you. So yeah, for many of you guys, this might be like an international relationship or some kind of long distance situation. This person could be a foreigner. That will just be for some of you, but that is an additional meaning of the Six of Swords. So they may be making a big transition so that they can stay with you and be with you, is what I'm picking up with this. Yes, so moving on to the next part, we're going to look more into the personality of your future spouse. This deck that I'm about to use, this deck has people on it that really look like real people. So pay attention to their features, because that might give you some hints about your future spouse's features. I do think everybody in this deck is female, but it doesn't really matter. They can just give you a hint about what type of features or what type of appearance your future spouse might have. So the first card that I want to look at here, this is going to be like the aspect of your future spouse's personality that they show outwardly. So the parts of their personality that everybody sees. And the first one that we have is the Queen of Materials. So this is actually a repeat of the Queen of Pentacles, and that's really nice. I think it makes a lot of sense because with this Queen of Pentacles here, we were talking about you get to see, how kind they are to others. You get to see them be successful. You get to see them working really hard towards their dreams. And that's what you really love about them. And then here I see, if this is the part of their personality that they're showing outwardly in the world, it's like, everybody kind of admires your future spouse in the same way that you do. Everybody gets to see how amazing they are. So the way they do come across to the world is this very successful, put together, very gorgeous. Like, I'm looking at how this person is so adorned. They may present themselves very well or just be very beautiful, very handsome, very attractive. A lot of people look up to your future spouse. A lot of people want to reach the same level of success. And a lot of people are very moved by their kindness. This is somebody who, no matter how far they climb up in terms of their success, they're always very humble and very down to earth, and they will always share their gifts and their wealth with other people. And also they will share like how they did it. They're certainly not trying to hog any of their success or hog any of the limelight. Like, they are very, very down to earth. This is someone who is very dedicated to their career, and I think they keep their social circle relatively small. Like, there's a lot of people who love them and want to spend a lot of time with them, but not a lot of people can get super close to them. And yeah, we have even more an earth energy coming through for your future spouse. So they could have very dominant earth energies in their chart. I think they will be most known for their accomplishments, and they might have a very interesting career or a very successful career. So that's how a lot of people are going to know them. So this is the part that they show outwardly. Let's take a look at what is more private or what is more hidden about their personality. So the parts of them that maybe only you see or only very close people in their life see. Seven of Emotions. So this is the Seven of Cups. It's funny because I feel like their image, the way everybody sees them, is that they're so put together, they're so practical, they're so down to earth. But the truth is that this person, they're very emotional and they're very like in their head, and they're actually very like spacey, I think is the right word. This is kind of reminding me of that dreamy feeling you get from them when you first meet them. And that means that you're kind of seeing into their truest personality. You're seeing what lies beneath the surface. And even though everybody thinks this person is so put together and has, you know, a good head on their shoulders and is so responsible, they don't feel like that. On the inside, this person feels like they're a scatterbrain, or they're an airhead, or they're overly emotional, or they might feel like they're a mess. And that could just be because they're very hard on themselves, and maybe they don't really just allow themselves to flow and have emotions and stuff like that. But this could be somebody who does get quite overwhelmed with their emotions, who does get quite in their head, who often feels like they're swimming upstream when it comes to dealing with their emotions. They might have a little bit of Pisces in their chart, or they might have some major placements in their 12th house, because I feel like this person can kind of get lost in their mind, and they can become very critical of themselves, and they can become overwhelmed very easily. I'm looking at the goldfish, and I actually think it's a myth that goldfish only have 3-second memory. Maybe somebody let me know. I feel like I read that it was debunked, but it just reminded me of that. This person might have a hard time focusing, have a hard time remembering things, because they're thinking about a million things at once. They might be the type who, like, they start doing something and then they walk off and do something else and forget what they were doing, or like they walk into a room and forget why they're there. They might forget things at their house, and then they have to turn around and go back. They're kind of scattered like this because they put so much pressure on themselves, and they're always thinking about like what they have to do now and what they have to do later today and what they have to do tomorrow. And then they want to, you know, invest all that they can in the relationship with you and in their job, and they get very overwhelmed like this. But it's like they don't have to. They can just relax. They don't have to be so hard on themselves. And I think this person doesn't realize how much they do already and how loved and respected they are already. It's like maybe they always feel like they have to prove themselves. So yeah, this is like their inner world. It's a little bit overwhelming. So it will be nice for them to have like a calming presence by them, and someone to remind them like they don't have to do everything. They don't have to do so much. This is someone who is naturally, you know, they have so many talents, but then with every talent they have, they feel pressure that they have to like prove it, or that they have to make something of it. Like they have to make a career out of it, or they have to like consistently work on it. Whereas like realistically, we cannot do every single thing that we're interested in or every single thing that we're good at. And there's no need for anybody to feel less than if they just focus on one thing. So yeah, I think their mind is a lot and their emotions are a lot. So it's good for them to have like a calming presence with them, or some influence that can kind of ground them and get them back to earth. Okay, so for the following card, this is going to be what they're like in a relationship. So how they show their love, or how they act when they're in love with somebody. And the card here is the 10 of Voices. This is equivalent to the 10 of Swords. So what this tells me is that your future spouse, when they love somebody, they will do anything for them. They will go to any lengths to make this person happy. And again, this is a card that makes me think of somebody who is being hard on themselves, who is thinking way too much. Like they always want to make sure you're happy, you're taken care of, and they don't want to upset you, and they never want to make you feel uncomfortable. Like they will go to such extreme lengths to make you happy and to make you comfortable. They'll really do anything. They will really do anything. They might need a little help to like assert themselves more and assert their boundaries more. In the traditional artwork, you know, this is somebody who has all the swords in their back and they're like dead, they're defeated. So I'm thinking of this as they might sacrifice themselves too much, or they might put their own needs or their own wants on a back burner. And it's not because like you expect them to do that, or their partner expects them to do that. It's just they may have that subconscious belief that they shouldn't assert themselves, that they shouldn't, you know, bother or burden people with their emotions. So yeah, this person will just need a bit of help to like open up and to express their needs and just know that they're safe and that they have it's okay to put themselves first. It's okay to take care of themselves. With voices as well, this could be their love language. They could feel love the most with words of affirmation. So finally, this final card is going to give us an idea of what they do in the world. So possibly what their career is or what their working style is like. And it's the Two of Materials. This is the Two of Pentacles. So I know we saw earlier, especially because the Queen of Pentacles is coming out twice, I do feel like this person has their own business. And now I think that's in the plural. When I see the Two of Pentacles for someone's career, I think quite literally that they are juggling two different jobs. So this person might have two businesses or be working on two projects. Actually, they have many more talents than that, but I think they're trying to juggle two right now. And in the imagery of this deck, it does look like one is above and one is below. So they may kind of have their main job that they put most of their work and most of their effort into, and then a little bit of a side project that is more like a passion project. Maybe one of them is more like business oriented and one of them is more like creative or artistic or something like that. But there's one that is like their main gig that makes most of the money. And this person could be a little bit of a workaholic. And yes, I definitely think that most of these pile one spouses would be like self-employed or freelance or something like this, because this makes me think that, you know, their income or their schedule is not stable like every month. It's not like they have a set salary or a set like, I work these days of the week from this time to that time. With this juggling, it makes me think of something that is like fluctuating. So they could have really busy months and really slow months. They could have really profitable months and months that are less so. Definitely they are wealthy if they're the Queen of Pentacles, but you know, this could fluctuate. So they might have, you know, some bad months sometimes, but I think even their bad months are really good. Sometimes they may need to be reminded to not take things so seriously and just have more fun with what they're doing and realize like it's not always about the numbers, it's not always about your output, and to just enjoy themselves more. I wonder if this is like the type of person who was like really overachiever and really gifted as a child, and so all of the adults in their life expected them to be excellent all the time, and so they've sort of carried that into their adult life. Like they keep disciplining themselves to overachieve. It could be something like that. And maybe some of you guys watching relate to that. I'm noticing you guys might mirror each other in that way. All right, so let's move on now to the friends and family. So we want to see what your friends and family think about them. We want to see what their friends and family think about you. So let's start with what your friends think of them. I love these cards. They're so cute and tiny. Six of Swords. So we have a repeating card again. So your friends think of your future spouse. Let me try to say this sentence properly. What your friends think of your future spouse is represented by the Six of Swords. And let's put this over here. It's going to be hard to fit everything, but what can you do? So your friends feel very comfortable around your future spouse. They feel that it's very easy to talk, very easy to converse and get along with them, which is actually a great sign, because on one hand, we saw that sometimes your future spouse can be a little bit shy or uncomfortable around people they're meeting for the first time. So the fact that they feel comfortable around your friends is great. And then the other thing is, you know, of course, you're going to be nervous when you're introducing your friends to your partner for the first time. So I think it's going to be a huge relief for you as well when they meet and you see them just like cracking jokes and they're in such they're so immersed in their conversation and getting along really, really well. That's going to make you really happy too. I feel like both of you are going to be nervous on the day that you introduce your friends to your partner, but then everything's going to go super, super well. And again, I'm just feeling like, because this is coming up twice now, I do feel that for a lot of you, your future spouse might be from another place, or they've just lived a very different life than your friends have. So it's like your friends are going to be really interested in where your future spouse came from, and they're going to like ask all kinds of questions about their life and, you know, how did you end up here and what was your life like before and why did you come here and all this kind of stuff. I can kind of see that conversation going on. Or again, maybe they've just had a very interesting, unique life and past experiences, and so your friends are going to be asking them all kinds of questions, really, really eager to get to know them. So like the intellectual and mental relationship that your future spouse shares with your friends, it's really fun, it's really interesting, they get along very, very well. So this is super positive. Now, as for what your family feels about your future spouse, there's the Three of Wands. Amazing. This is really positive too. So your family is going to be very impressed by your future spouse. I think they'll be very impressed by their career. They're also going to be super eager to get to know them. They're also going to get along very well. And I have this image of, like, I think your family is going to meet them while you're still dating, and your family is actually going to pull you aside and be like, so have you thought about marriage? You know, like they really like them. And so if they had a say in it, obviously it's your choice, but they're really supporting you guys getting married. They really want you to get married. They might pull you aside and tell you like, oh my gosh, I think this is the one. They think your future spouse is just brilliant. They think your future spouse is very funny, very imaginative, insightful, creative. I see with both of these, like the conversation flows really, really well. And again, this makes me think of them coming from somewhere else, because the Three of Wands is like something that is outside of your comfort zone or outside of the box. So your future spouse might open your family's mind and like broaden their perspective, or, you know, open them up to something new. Maybe your family has like never met somebody like your future spouse or who does what they do, and so they just really want to get to know that. But yeah, your family and friends are just in awe of them. They're very curious about them. Wow, that's really nice. Okay, so let's look at the other side now and see what your future spouse's friends think of you. And there's the Five of Cups. Aw, so this is generally a sign when it comes to people. I would read this as like somebody missing you. So maybe your future spouse's friends don't really get to see that much of you. And I'm sorry to be a broken record, but like, wouldn't that make sense if they came from somewhere else? I don't know, maybe it's just that they're really busy or you're both really busy, but I feel like you're not gonna get to see that much of your future spouse's friends. I think they will see your friends and family a lot, but you might not see their friends so much. So it could be physical distance, it could be that just like your schedules don't match or something like that. But there is this idea of their friends missing you or like wanting to see you more, wishing that they could see you more. Your future spouse might have some really close friends that don't even meet you until your wedding. Like they don't get the chance to meet you until you guys are already getting married. And you know, if they're missing you, they obviously love you. They think you're a wonderful person. And I like this owl because owls represent like a deep or inner knowing. So maybe even though they haven't spent that much time with you, they can just tell. They can just tell that you guys are perfect for each other. And the eggs are making me think of this like excitement of your future, excitement for what the two of you will create together. So they're really, really happy for your future spouse. They're really happy that they found someone like you, and they can't wait to hear more about your future. But again, I feel like they're not really going to be around that much, and that's going to make them kind of sad, I think. Like they wish that they could see you more. Yeah. And especially if your future spouse did move to be with you, it could be like they miss your spouse a lot. They miss your spouse. All right, so let's look at the card for what your future spouse's family feels about you, and it's the Four of Cups. Yeah, like their family is not seeing that much of you either. I feel like, yeah, you're gonna have, or they will have a much better relationship with your friends and family, like a much closer and seeing each other more frequently than you are going to have with their family and friends. And you know, some of them, like some of the spouses that I'm reading for here, your future spouse actually may not have that close of a relationship with their family. And so maybe that's why you don't see them that much, or like you meet them once out of like a formality, but like it doesn't feel that close or that intimate, the relationship that you have with the family. Here, with the friends, there's like a longing to be closer to you, a longing to meet you and get to know you more. Because I think your future spouse does have some very close friendships, and their friends really want to be involved in your life more and want to know you more. And so I see the sadness here. But Four of Cups is kind of like apathy, or like you don't really care. So I wonder if for many of you, the future spouse doesn't have that close of a relationship with their family. And so as a result, you don't either. I'm really getting that feeling with this. For others of you, it could be that it takes a while for their family to warm up to you. Maybe they were expecting your future spouse to end up with somebody different, like you're just a little bit different than what they were expecting, and they don't really know you that well at first, and it takes them some time to get to know you and warm up to you and accept you and things like that. So that could be another interpretation. I think it will be either that, or that your spouse is not that close with them, or again, it could be they don't get to know you that well because they're long distance, they're somewhere else. So it could be any of those, it could be a number of those. Please take that how it resonates, but this side definitely feels a lot more stronger and a lot more positive. So your family and your friends with your future spouse. Okay, so we're moving into our final cards now. This card is going to tell us about your home life with them. And we have Balance, which is equivalent to Temperance in the traditional tarot. But is that focused? Anyway, yeah, this shows me that your home life, well, literally as it says on the card, it's going to be very balanced. So the two of you will likely share the housework, you will likely split the expenses. All of that is going to be very fair. I don't necessarily see you guys like keeping track so strictly, like I spent $50.37 on groceries, so you have to spend $50.37 on the bills. I don't really see it like that. But you just more or less get a feel for it, you know, like you covered this time, so I'll cover next time. And it just all seems to even out at some point. I think intuitively you guys figure it out. But yeah, the housework is shared as well. The two of you guys, I feel like your careers are quite different. So your schedules might be quite different. But you manage to make it work. So there's a little bit, like this card says, cooperation and compromise. You guys figure out a way to, you know, maybe sleep around the same time, or to not bother the other if one person is sleeping and one person is awake. And you manage to find time to spend together. Like you manage to find days off that you can spend as a couple, or, you know, use for date night or something. you have to kind of compromise to make it work because your schedules or your working style is not exactly the same. I hope that that makes sense. I also feel with this wait for perfect timing, you guys will be in no rush to move in together. I think you might really take your time getting to know each other first, and it will just happen naturally. I think this is a relationship that will be taken a little bit slower, and I think it will be at least a year before you're talking about moving in together, and likely it will be even more than that. But you encourage each other to be very healthy and to have a good routine. I think you're a very positive influence on each other in that respect. You guys might start eating healthier from the influence of your future spouse, or vice versa, or you might start like developing an exercise routine because of them, or vice versa. But you encourage this kind of healthy work, sleeping schedule, eating routine. I hope you know what I'm trying to say. You create a really healthy structure in each other's lives. Even if your structures are a little bit different, through compromise, they can work alongside each other. I don't really talk about like intimacy and 18 plus stuff that much in readings, you guys may know, but I will say I think that's going to be very balanced as well. It's going to be very equal and more so focused on the journey than the destination, if you catch my drift. It's about just like enjoying the process, because temperance is like sort of trying things out and experimenting until you find the perfect balance without really like rushing or forcing anything. So like you try a bit of this, a bit of that, and take this away and see what works until you find something that's perfect. So I think that's what the dynamic will be like between the two of you. So the next oracle card that we have for your life, for your relationship together, is achieving your goals. I am certainly not surprised to see this. I have no doubt that the both of you are going to be incredibly successful in your separate endeavors. If you were to come together and work on something together, you guys would work so well together, because the two of you are an amazing positive influence on each other and amazing motivators and supporters for each other, like we've seen throughout this reading. You really inspire the other to stay accountable and to stay responsible and to keep doing their best. And both of you guys are going to watch each other accomplish some amazing things in this life. And I feel like a lot of pride, like you're so proud of each other, and you're so proud that you're able to call yourself the other person's partner. Like you can just brag about each other forever. For your Romance Angels Oracle card, we have Release Your Ex, and the message is the time has come to clear your energy. So even more confirmation that this relationship is allowing the both of you to really let go of any painful memories from your past, like any baggage that you have carried over from past relationships. One or both of you might have had like a very serious relationship before this one that came to an end, and just when you thought maybe you could never be happy in the same way, you meet each other. So this is like a beautiful new start, a beautiful new beginning. And I think a lot of your past painful memories, not just from romantic relationships, but like painful memories or baggage that you had picked up through earlier experiences of your life, I think a lot of that is going to be worked through and healed in your relationship together, because you make each other feel very safe to express those things and very safe to bring them to the surface so that you can release them, as this card talks about. So the final two cards that I have here for you, these are just going to be like, what is the biggest lesson you teach each other or what you help each other with? So first, let's see what is a big thing that you help your future spouse with. It's up to you. Yeah, I feel like you guys are a big help in your future spouse learning to value their own boundaries and learning to enforce their own boundaries and learning more to put themselves first reminding them that their wants and needs and concerns, their desires are all valid. And they need to start asserting themselves more. They need to start prioritizing themselves more. And I think be a little bit more selfish sometimes and just not be so hard on themselves. Yeah, this is what you help them with. And at the same time, I think you help them to realize that, you know, at the end of the day, they're the one who is responsible for getting their own needs met. And that's why it's so important to be able to speak up when you need something, or to speak up when something isn't working. You can't just like assume people around you will figure it out. So I think you help them to speak up more and to value more their own wants and needs. And so for the biggest lesson that they teach you, it's you're ready. I love this card. It gives me such an exciting energy. And what's coming through for me with this card is like the person that you are striving to be, the person who can accomplish everything. You are already that person. Like you already have what it takes to make all of your dreams come true. When you imagine your future self as this super successful and hardworking and talented person, your future spouse kind of teaches you like you're already that amazing, and whatever it is that you want to do, you're ready. You've got it. You have what it takes. So they could help you be more of a go-getter, help you to be more confident and to believe in yourself more. Honestly, both of you, I know I've already said this, but you're such a good like support, such a good motivation and good positive influence for each other. And I love to see this. Both of you will be so incredibly successful in this life together. Okay, so I think that got obscenely long, so I'm gonna end your reading there. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number twos. So if you guys chose the Kyanite, this is going to be a reading all about your future spouse. So right away, I do feel that your future spouse is more of a chill and calm sort of person. They might be a little bit quiet. I don't really see this as somebody who raises their voice that much at all, whether it be out of anger or out of excitement or out of amusement. I feel like they just have a more kind of mellow disposition, and they're also very laid back. So they're not really the type to get pressed about a lot of things. They don't really get stressed out that easily, or, you know, upset or angry or anything like that. And some people might actually mistake them for a pushover or this kind of anything goes person, but that's not the case at all. And in fact, when something is really important to this person, I see that they have no problem speaking up or standing up for themselves at all. So people really should not underestimate your future spouse in that regard. I also see that they're very intelligent. They're very clever, very good at reading people and situations and finding the solution to any problem. They're just very good at seeing the situation and the reality for how it is and getting to the root of an issue. And they can work very well under pressure and calmly solve problems. So if you guys kind of struggle to stay calm under pressure, or you tend to worry, this could be a very nice presence, a very nice person to have around you. I also see that this person does really love themselves, make themselves a priority, and especially they make self-care a priority. So this might be someone who really prioritizes their me time, or they have some certain activity that they like to do to, you know, unwind, whether it's like going on a hike by themselves or going on a walk by themselves or just relaxing at home. They really do prioritize this time for self-care. So I really like this person to start off. They seem like a very healthy person. So let's get into your cards now. There are a ton of cards. So I'm gonna try my best not to ramble too much. But what I want to start with is the Moonology Oracle cards, and what this is gonna tell us is whether or not you might know this person already. So I have 2 cards and they can give us a couple different scenarios for you guys because it is a general reading. So let's see what we have here. The first one we have is New Moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins. So we have Libra energy here already, and you're very close to achieving your goal with the gibbous moon. Okay, so there are 2 different scenarios here. For some of you, this is a completely new person that you have not met yet, that you do not know of yet. When this card comes out, new moons in general, but especially this one with a new romantic cycle begins, I often do think of this as, you know, a new romantic cycle with a completely new person. So some of you guys do not know this person yet. However, I think it's sort of 50-50 for this pile, because with the gibbous moon, with you're very close to achieving your goal, well, I guess this could be that it's a new person that you're going to meet very soon. That could be an interpretation of it. But what I first thought with this card is that some of you guys are already interested in this person, and you're already pursuing or trying to pursue this person. So it may actually be the person that you're already interested in. If you do currently have a person of interest and you're wondering, well, is it going to be them or is it going to be a new person? I would say you'll find that out pretty soon, because if a new person does come in, I do think it is going to be quite in the near future. But as we go through the reading, you can also just see if the description of the person sounds like the one that you have in mind, because I do think for some of you, it's like somebody that you're already involved with and that you already like quite a bit. Anyways, so next we have some months of the year cards. These are just 3 different months of the year, and these can really be anything. They could represent the birth month of this person, or a month that something significant is going to happen in your relationship, such as when you guys meet, or when you guys get together officially as a couple, or even when you guys get married. So if you do know anybody who is born in these months or whom you met in these months, that can also be a confirmation for you. So the first month we have is May, April, and October. So interestingly, we have October here, and we also have Libra, so this could be like a Libra born in October. But with these months, if these are their birth months, they could also be Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and then we also have Libra and Scorpio. So these could be their signs, these could be their birth months, and again, this could also be like a significant month for your relationship. And I did feel like something was going to be happening very soon in your love life. So if you are watching this like at the time that it's uploaded, April and May is very, very soon. But maybe at the time that you stumble upon this video, October is closer. But anyway, those are the months that I have for you. And next we're going to see the circumstances of the 2 of you meeting. So see if we can get some hints about how you guys meet. First, we have the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Oh, and I also wanted to tell you guys, if there are any lifelike humans, like realistic looking illustrations of humans on these cards, pay attention to them, because that might give you some hints about what this person looks like. And adjacent possibilities. So as for how you're meeting, we have the 5th chakra, which is the throat chakra. And so I do feel like this is going to be like somebody initiating a conversation, somebody coming up and striking up a conversation. That's the expression. Yes. So I don't think there's going to be like a middleman. I don't really see this as like you guys meeting through an introduction. Maybe you guys don't have any mutual friends or mutual acquaintances. It kind of feels like you're in completely different circles, but through some shared activity, or you guys are just, you end up in the same place at the same time. One of you will go over and start a conversation, or it could happen online as well. Like one of you initiates conversation through a DM or through a comment or something like that. With the adjacent possibilities card, it could be a dating app, something like this, because of course, when you're on a dating app, you have many different options, many different potential people to talk to. So it could be like the two of you are, you know, swiping or checking out your options, your different possibilities, and you happen to stumble upon each other and you just really hit it off. This adjacent possibilities, this could also be that like you were interested in somebody else, or you were trying to pursue somebody else when you met this person, or vice versa. Maybe even, this will be an even smaller percentage of you guys, but maybe even some of you will be in a relationship when you meet this person, or they will be in a relationship when they meet you. I do feel that that is a smaller group. But this gives the idea of you guys like having several options. And that's why I initially thought of dating app. And this, it's funny, this looks like, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. You're trying all these doors and nope, that's not the right person, that's not the right person. And then you finally find like the way out, meaning you found your match and you can delete the app now. Your person also might be a singer or a musician, because I'm just looking at the throat chakra and the trumpet. Maybe, doesn't have to be. And the numbers on these cards, 39 and 24, these could be significant numbers for you that you see before you meet them, or it could be a significant date, like you could meet on the 24th, or maybe their birthday is on the 24th. 39 can't be a date. Well, it could be like March 9th, or it could be September 3rd. This could also be February 4th or April 2nd. So this could be significant dates for you guys. We do have April here. So yeah, that's what I see for the circumstances of your meeting. So moving on, now we're going to look at first impressions. We're going to see what your first impression is of your future spouse and vice versa. And then we're also going to see how you feel about each other after you've been in the relationship and you've gotten to know each other. So starting off, your first impression of your future spouse is the 10 of Cups. So this is a love at first sight situation for sure. Yeah, that's why you guys are gonna know very, very soon. Because when you meet this person, you will just immediately fall for them. You'll immediately start to envision your future together with them, start to imagine being married to them, having a family with them, or whatever it is you want for your future. The 10 of Cups is like your fantasy. It's your happily ever after. It's your complete emotional fulfillment. And you're going to recognize that in this person right away. So that later, when you guys have been married for years, you can tell the story to your grandchildren. Like, oh, I knew the minute I met your other grandparent, I knew that we were going to get married. Or you can tell your friends that, like, I just knew they were the one right away. You might start to, you know, have a lot of dreams about them after you meet, or you just can't stop thinking about them when you're not with them. You just can't wait for the next time that you can see them, or the next time that you can talk to them. Some of you guys may feel that you actually manifested this person. Like if you're doing journaling or scripting about your ideal partner, and this person just walks into your life and they are everything that you wrote down, or just everything that you've ever imagined in a future spouse. I often think with the 10 of Cups, it's like somebody who like checks all the boxes. Like they have everything that you could have ever asked for in a partner. So yeah, you're gonna be completely head over heels for this person as soon as you meet them. So let's take a look at their first impression of you. We have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, so on their end, they're a little bit slower. It looks like they're going to be a little bit more cautious. I think that they admire you a lot. They're going to be very impressed by you in some way, with some skill that you have or some knowledge that you have, or they're going to be very interested in hearing about your interests and hearing about what you're doing with your life. I think they're going to find you to be a very well-rounded person, and they're definitely going to feel that this relationship has potential, but maybe this is just the type of person who doesn't really believe in love in first sight. They just like to take things slower and really get to know somebody. And they are the type of person who doesn't want to waste their time. So they're like, if they can't see potential for something serious and for a long-term relationship, they're not going to waste your time. So this person is very direct and straightforward like that. You definitely don't have to worry about this person like playing games with you or being hot and cold with you. I think they're going to be very honest and very earnest throughout the whole thing, but they're going to need a little bit of time to get to know you. As you can see, he's like reflecting over the coin, so they want to get to know more about you and see if it's really a match. And there may also be a little part of them that wonders if they deserve you or if they're in your league, if they can really make you happy. So they're just taking it a little bit slower and they're thinking about it. But that's not to say they're being distant at all. They will be very consistent with you, but just getting to know you, I think, is going to be a bit of a slower process for them. And I do think this is the type of person who wants to take things slow and not get carried away and all this kind of thing. They seem like a more practical person, I guess. Yeah, okay, so let's move on now and see how you are going to feel about them once you've gotten to know each other, once you're in the relationship. Justice. So we have even more Libra energy. As of now, we have 3 cards that can indicate Libra, and we even have the 10, which this card is representing them too. 10 could be like, because October is the 10th month. Maybe I'm reading too far into it, but there's a lot of Libra energy present here. And this is really nice to see this Justice card, because it's like all of these wonderful things that you felt about them at your first meeting are like justified, so to speak. You've actually, through getting to know them and through letting the time go by, you've seen them to be true. Justice means that this is a very happy, healthy, reciprocated partnership. This is Libra and 7th house energy, so it is very favorable for partnerships. And I like the owl on it too, because the owl is like your inner wisdom. It's your deeper knowing. And so it's like you knew it from the start. Your inner wisdom knew from the start that this was the one. And so as the time has gone by, you've only been proven right, honestly. And I feel like you guys are you're gonna make huge progress in your relationship in less than a year. I don't really know what that means. Probably not that you're gonna get engaged in less than a year for most of you, although that could be the case for some of you. So maybe it's something like you're moving in together in less than a year, or something like that is happening quickly. But yeah, once you get to know them, you're just proven right. You're kind of like, I knew it from the start. I knew that this was the one. They're very fair in the relationship. They put in equal effort. They're very peaceful. I don't really see you guys, getting into fights. When you have disagreements, you can solve it very peacefully. They will always, open up and listen to your side while also being assertive about their side. So they're very balanced like that, and they want to make sure that you are both happy, and that even if you have to compromise with something, that you're both happy about the compromise. So I think you really appreciate that about them. And as you get to know more people in their life, you'll see that this person is very well liked by their friends, well, of course, but by the people whom they work with too, by the people in their community. They're just very, very well liked, very respected as well. They're very good at their job too. And I think that something about that will make you more attracted to them, like how well they do their job. Was there something else I wanted to say with this? Oh yes, justice is like also about the balance between our head and our heart. So I like this transition because your first impression, of course, it's very heart-based. You don't have that much information as of now, as the first time meeting, to logically say, I know that I'm going to marry this person, right? Because that takes time. So this is like the very strong and passionate expression of your heart that is coming through first. And then in the future, it's like now your head has come in too, and you can justify what you felt with logic and rational thought, you know? So yeah, basically your very strong feelings are being justified. You could see the future with them when you first met, and you can see the future with them now. And this is like reciprocation too. So whereas at first they were taking more of a practical approach, I just want to wait and see what happens, now they have come to reciprocate your 10 of Cups feelings over time. So let's look now. This is going to be what your future spouse feels about you after you've gotten to know each other. And it's the 8 of Wands. So that's funny. It's like they had the intention of taking things slow, but they're going to fall for you very quickly. I think they're going to be surprised at how quickly they fall for you. It's probably never really happened to them like that before. And there's somebody who, they work very hard. I think this person takes a lot of pride in their career. But somehow they just always find the time to message you. They always find the time to see you. This person is like living proof of when you really care about somebody, like you will find time for them. You will make time for them. This person is going to show you that, because no matter how busy they get, they will always, like, they'll message you every single day. Even if they can't see you for some time, you know, they'll let you know what they're doing and let you know that they miss you. They might even make time to like speak to you on the phone or do a video call or something like that. And when things are super, super hectic, at the very least, you will get your like, good morning, have a good day, good night, I love you. Like, they will be so consistent like that. The communication is going to be very frequent, very consistent. It's going to develop quite quickly. So, you know, it will start off slow, but then it's going to like exponentially pick up is kind of how I feel about it. And then before you guys know it, you're going to be like moving in together, or you're going to be moving on to the next step of your relationship. And I think at first this person could be a little bit scared of how fast they are falling for you, but I think they'll come around to realize, like, sometimes when it's the right person, you just know and you just feel safe to fall that quickly. So they might be a little bit reluctant of like opening up and being entirely vulnerable about how quickly and how hard they've fallen for you, but they will definitely come around. And again, they're always going to be very consistent with you. So this is really, really nice. Okay, let's look at the next cards, and we're gonna take a deeper look into your future spouse's personality. So the first card, oh, and I want to say this deck has the most lifelike humans on it. So this deck might be the best hint for physical appearance and features. I will say that I'm pretty sure every person in this deck is female, but of course you can still look at the features, like what the face looks like, because that can translate to any gender. So the first card I want to look at from this deck is the part of your future spouse's personality that they show outwardly, that they really, that everybody sees, that is on display. And it's the 3 of Inspiration. Ooh, so inspiration, I'm going to take that very literally and say that your future spouse inspires a lot of people and motivates a lot of people. They may be in a leader role in their career, so they could manage a team, they could be a project manager, they could be a boss. I am getting the feeling that they work for a company, but it's kind of like a cool modern company. It's the vibe that I'm getting. And they may not be at the tippy top, like they may not be the CEO, but I think they're pretty high up. Like I think they would at least have a manager role. I do see them taking care of like projects or taking care of groups of people, so they have to have good motivation skills, they have to be good at explaining things, they have to be good at problem solving, and this kind of thing, and like keeping people's spirits up. The number 3 is the number of creativity, manifestation, abundance, expansion. So they could have a job that allows them to be creative. That doesn't necessarily mean they're like an artist, but they could be making products, creating new services, creating new systems. They could be inventing things and selling them. I feel like that's kind of vague, but yeah, 3 is about creation and expansion and things of this nature. They are very successful. I feel like they will be, like, comparatively to people in their age group or people around them, I feel like they will definitely be on the higher up end of success and wealth and things like that. And they have a very good reputation. Like we mentioned before, I think everybody who works with this person really likes them. And this person is known for being very open-minded and very ambitious. And they're like, they don't sweat the small stuff. It's not like they don't pay attention to detail, because I think, like we saw earlier, they're very sharp and they can see all the moving parts of a situation. They can read the situation very well. So it's not that they don't pay attention to details, but like they don't sweat the small problems. And they do tend to look more at the bigger picture. So even if things are going a little bit crazy in the current situation, even if they end up in a pickle, they're like, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. They look at the bigger picture like that. You know, it always happens like this. Things always are messy in the middle, but we'll get through it together. So they're very optimistic, very positive like that. So they really are a good motivation and inspiration for the people that they work with. So, wow, they have a very, it's funny because I feel like they are a more mellow person, but they have such a strong presence. Like they command respect without having to be like the loudest person in the room. It's like this subtle confidence that is super, super cool. People of the same gender as your future spouse will kind of like want to be like them, I guess. Like they'll think they're so cool and maybe model some of their behavior after them or working style after them or something like that. They could be a little bit of a trendsetter. Okay, so let's go to the next card. This is going to be the part of their personality that is a little bit more hidden. So maybe only you see it or only their very close loved ones see it. And this card is the 6 of Emotions, which is the 6 of Cups. Yeah, so on the outside, they come across as this very like chill, doesn't get emotional kind of person. But I think on the inside, they are quite... they're quite sensitive. They do crave affection and crave nurturing, but that's not really a part of them that they show. I think they show the side of them that is very strong and ambitious and just like cool and breezy and I'll figure it out. But, you know, sometimes they worry and sometimes they feel lonely. And I think this person really wants like cuddles and they really want hugs. And again, another contrast is like, they, on the outside, they show this part of them that is always looking to advance, always looking to expand and move forward and move towards the future. But on the inside, I think this is somebody who is very nostalgic and they like fondly look back on the past and they long for their childhood days when things were simple and when things were innocent. They have a very sweet heart like this. And even if they're more practical, I do feel that there is a part of them who at least likes the idea of soulmates and likes the idea of true love. Even if they wouldn't admit that or they say they don't believe in it, there is that like softy kind of part of them that wants to believe in that. So they have a little squishy soft side inside of them, basically. I think this person really wants children one day. We see the baby here, and the 6 of Cups has a child on it as well. This is about children and childhood. Or at the very least, like if they have nieces and nephews, they will just be really sweet towards them and shower them with affection. They could also really love animals. You guys might get like a puppy together or a kitten together or any type of pet, honestly. If having children is totally out of the picture for you, it could just be that they enjoy the purity or they enjoy the innocence of children and they like to reminisce. That's the word. They like to reminisce about their childhood and those more innocent times, you know, before they had all of these responsibilities and they had to be this like cool put together person. They wish for that time where they could just be like silly and play and be sensitive and emotional and that kind of thing. So that's their inner self. So they might have some Cancer in their chart. They might have quite a bit of Cancer in their chart, actually. Okay, so the next card, this is going to show what they're like in a relationship, how they like to show love, or how they like to be loved, or how they act when they're in love, and this kind of thing. And we have the Two of Inspiration. So this is the Two of Wands. This is definitely not the type of partner to smother you or to be controlling or anything like that. They really do value their own freedom, and they will respect your freedom as well. I'm just looking at this person who's like looking from a distance, so it seems like they're not very clingy. They're not very clingy, and the Two as well, like the Two of Wands, it's like coming into your own independence. So even when you guys are a couple, this is somebody who will really, you know, value their own time. Like we saw in the beginning, this person needs alone time. This person needs me time. And if you're that type of person as well, they will 100% respect that. And it's really important to them that no matter how close they get to somebody in a relationship, you guys are still like two individuals. So you have your own life, your own friends, your own interests. I think they don't want to become too codependent. Maybe they had some bad experience in a codependent relationship in the past, so they're just kind of more on guard. But I think actually the way that this person might feel the most loved is when their freedom and their individuality is respected, and when they can respect your freedom and individuality as well. And as for a love language, I would say quality time. Just being there. Just being there is enough for this person. I think this person doesn't really need fancy gifts. They don't need you to flatter them a bunch. They might like physical touch too, actually. Physical touch and quality time, just to be there with them. And they might do acts of service for you, but I feel like they don't really expect them in return. But they'll do anything that they can to help you out. This person might want to travel with you as well. Like, I just thought of this as like someone looking for their next destination, and then I saw this child who looks like a pilot of some sorts, and Three of Wands as well. It can be about exploring and travel and things of that nature. So this person might like to go on vacations with you, on holidays, and have like uninterrupted quality time. Yeah. So let's look at the final card. This is going to show us more about what they do in the world, although I think I talked about it quite a bit with this card. It can just tell us more about their career and things like that. Ooh, Muse of Materials. So this is the King of Pentacles. So yeah, your future spouse is definitely higher up. They definitely have a high position. They definitely have a lot of people looking up to them. They might actually be like I don't know what the word is, a co-manager or a co-boss. I don't know what the word is, or maybe like an assistant manager or a co-founder. Could be something like that too. Basically, they could be working alongside somebody else who is also in a high position, or maybe a bit higher than them. And then they guide the company together. Yes, this is a very successful and very wealthy person. And a lot of people respect this person. A lot of people look up to them. This is someone who is also very smart with their money. So I feel like they would be more frugal. If they were going to spend a lot of money, it would be on something that really matters. So, you know, spending it on a special occasion, or, you know, to go on a nice trip with you. I feel like they're not that frivolous in terms of spending in their everyday life. And so they save money little by little. And this person is like set financially for the long term, for sure. Okay, so moving on, this is the part of the reading where we're going to look at friends and family. So we're going to see how your friends and family feel about your future spouse and how your future spouse's friends and family feel about you. So starting off, let's see your friends first. We're going to see how your friends, with these tiny little cards, how your friends feel about your future spouse. Knight of Swords. So this is funny. I feel like your friends are also going to be kind of surprised at how quickly the two of you get together and fall in love and move in together. There might be some of your friends, like depending on how frequently you talk to all of your friends, there might be some of them who it's like you're telling them that you're moving in with your partner and they're like, what? You're in a relationship? When did this happen? Like it all just happens so fast, but it feels so right. And I also feel like your friends are gonna not fall for, that's the wrong word, but they're gonna come to like your partner and grow fond of your partner really quickly. They're going to have really good, it's kind of the same as pile one. They have really good conversation. They have the same sense of humor, which is great because the jokes that you make with your friends, your partner is going to find them funny and vice versa. And they're also going to admire how smart, how intelligent your partner is. And they really like their cool and laid back vibe too. So I see only positive things with this card. Again, I see everybody getting along super quickly, having a lot to talk about. Your friends, it might be a while before your friends actually get to meet them in person. So for the first little while, it could just be that your friends are hearing a lot of stories about your partner. Like they just hear everything that you say about what you're doing and what they're like. And so when they can finally meet this person who they've heard so much about in person, then like they're very excited because it's like, oh, you're the so-and-so. Yeah, I feel a lot of excitement, a lot of fun, a lot of good conversation. So this is really nice energy. So for the next card, let's see how your family feels about your future spouse. Oh, look, it's the 10 of Cups. So your family's first impression of your future spouse is like the exact same as your first impression. So your family is also going to recognize pretty early on that this person is like perfect for you, that the two of you are a match made in heaven. They're going to tell you that this is the one. They're going to be so excited like for the news that you get married or that you move in together or that you are having children, if that's what you want. If you're getting a pet, whatever it might be, they're going to be so happy and so excited. This is a really, really nice relationship. Really, like your future spouse is being taken in as a member of the family almost and having a really, really close relationship with your family. This is really, really sweet. And the 10 of Cups is literally about a happy family. So I feel like your friends really like your future spouse, but your family loves them. Like this is really, really strong love, really, really strong positive emotion. So it's really, really nice to see that. Okay, so moving on to the other side now, we're going to see how their friends and family feel about you. So let's start with their friends. How do their friends feel about you? The Hierophant, cool. So wisdom is coming to my mind right away. Their friends are going to find you very smart or very insightful or very wise in some way. They're going to admire how you have your life together. They might be very interested in your job too. If you guys are very knowledgeable on something, they will be very impressed and they will want to hear all about it. And they will admire your spirituality as well. They might ask you a lot of questions about your spirituality. I feel like when you meet their friends, it's kind of going to be like they're oohing and ahhing about you and they're picking your brain and they respect you a lot. They look up to you a lot. And they find you very smart and knowledgeable about something. That message keeps coming up. There's something, they're very impressed that you can do something, or they're very impressed that you know something. So I don't know if you guys have like a specific talent that is kind of unique, or you're very knowledgeable about something that is kind of unique. Could even be like this kind of tarot and things like that, because it could be quite interesting for people who don't know about it. I'm not sure, but yeah, they look up to you a lot in that way. And Hierophant is also about commitment and marriage. So your future spouse's friends will definitely think that you are marriage material, and they will definitely think that you're a good match for their friend. So that's really lovely to see. So finally, this is going to show us what your future spouse's family feels about you. And there's 7 of Cups. Your future spouse might have a very big family. Like they could have many siblings or many nieces and nephews. That was coming up before. I feel like for the most part, okay, I'm sorry if this is kind of like a bad message to hear, but I feel like all of their family members are going to like you, but there's this one family member that kind of gives you a hard time. And maybe it's like one that's kind of close, like one of their parents or one of their siblings kind of gives you a hard time, or you can't read them. And so you're really worried about making them like you, because maybe they never outright say that they don't like you, but it's like all of the other family members are super nice to you, and they're always, you know, inviting you over or asking when are we going to see you again, or, you know, helping you out and stuff. And then there's just this one member who seems more like cold or distant or hard to read. And it's like they never said they don't like you, but you just feel that kind of vibe from them. So it causes a bit of confusion. And I think this card is warning not to get too like in your head about this. Like it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect your relationship. But if you're that type of person, and of course, like the family member of someone you love so much, you want them to like you, but I feel there could be a point, maybe it's more at the beginning of your relationship where you're really worried about it because you really want to make a good impression. And then even though everybody loved you and was super nice to you, it's that one person who is acting weird that you can't stop thinking about. Yeah, that came through like pretty clearly. But I'm sure your spouse will comfort you and tell you not to worry about it and that it's going to be okay. Maybe you will be able to listen, maybe you won't, but that could just be a little bit of a confusing or frustrating experience that happens when you meet their family. So it's just something to be aware of. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting into the final oracle cards now for this reading, which will tell us more about what your relationship is like. And the first card I want to look at will describe your home life together. And the card that we have here is the 5 of Air. So this is equivalent to the 5 of Swords in traditional tarot. And what this tells me is that the two of you might have a bit different lifestyles or different schedules, or you like to run your household in different ways. So for example, it could be like one of you guys is a night owl and one of you guys is an early bird. It could be one of you guys is very frugal with money and one of you is more of a spender. The way that you like to clean the house, or the way that you like to decorate the house or place the items in your home could be different as well. So it's like there's many things that you guys like can't agree on, and many things that you do differently. So when you first move in together, you might be butting heads a little bit, and it could be a little bit stressful. But for some reason at the same time, and this is kind of unrelated, but I'm getting that you have a very strong and intense and passionate like physical attraction and physical relationship. It's very intense. The next card that we have is oh, this card actually says like putting in the work. So that's a really, really nice card to come out after this. This means that whatever differences you guys have in the way that you live, in your schedule, in your routine, you're gonna work through it and find something that works for both of you, so that neither of you are stressed, so that neither of you are frustrated. You'll find the places to make compromises, and this Libra energy that we have here is going to really help for that. So whatever these differences are, it's not anything that could, you know, ruin the relationship or put strain on it. It just takes a little bit more work to figure out like what's going to work and what's not going to work and what needs to change. You might need to make some adjustments and everything's going to be fine. This card shows you guys are putting in the work and it's going to be worth it. So I'm not worried about this at all. Looking at the imagery of this card, I'm also getting that you guys might enjoy cooking a lot together. I know she's probably making a potion and not food, but just the imagery of the pot made me think that you guys might enjoy cooking a lot together, or you might enjoy eating out together, and you might enjoy traveling, like I mentioned before, and just outdoor activities in general. Maybe hiking or something like that. I feel like I used hiking as an example earlier too, but you might enjoy some kind of outdoor activities together. I feel like you will be a very active couple. Like you're not just sitting around at home all the time. You're doing activities together, and you also will have your own lives, your own hobbies, and whatever kinks you have here, you will iron them out. And then your romance angels card is wedding, which is very straightforward. I don't really know, how do I interpret this? We already knew the situation involves marriage. Oh, it could be that you guys are going to have a very extravagant wedding. You know, if your Muse of materials, if your King of Pentacles saves money for special occasions, wedding is definitely a very special occasion. So you guys could have a very big wedding, a very fancy wedding. I don't know if any of you guys have like a dream wedding, like a Pinterest dream wedding, but this card could be coming up to confirm to you that you are going to have your dream wedding. Maybe you have a destination wedding because you guys like traveling. That would be super cool. Or it could be that your proposal is very romantic, very exciting. It's like a total surprise. You're in the most romantic spot, so your proposal could be a big deal, or your wedding ceremony could be like really gorgeous, big party, big celebration. Something about your wedding is very exciting. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my ears are ringing a lot. Okay. Definitely something about your wedding ceremony is going to be like unforgettable. And judging from the nostalgia and the sentimentalness of your future spouse, I feel like they're definitely going to cry. They're going to cry during the proposal, they're gonna cry during the wedding, they're gonna cry when they look back at the wedding photos, and they will never forget this day. They're gonna look back on this day forever. That's just, they have that nostalgic trait to them. And you know, having wedding alongside putting in the work, this is definitely someone who recognizes the importance of putting work into a marriage. They want to get married because they want marriage. They don't want to get married to, you know, have the party and have the ceremony. They recognize that a marriage takes a lot of work, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows and romance. And this is really, really someone who is willing to honor the commitment of the wedding and put in the work for years and years and years to come. And they will not give up. So the final two oracle cards, these are just going to show us major lessons that the two of you teach each other. So first we'll start with this one, which is the major lesson that you will teach your future spouse, and it is forgiveness. So you're teaching your future spouse to be more gentle with themselves, I think. You may be helping them to forgive somebody else who has wronged them in the past, but the first thing that came to my mind was self-forgiveness. So I do think in general this person takes a lot of care of themselves. Like they are somebody who prioritizes self-care, but there might be something from their past that they are still holding on to, something that they still carry guilt from, that you're helping them to let go of. I don't really see this as like they're too hard on themselves in general. I don't really see that because it seems like they take very good care of themselves. So it could be this one hang up that they have, something that they did in their past. Because, you know, their inner world is very pure and innocent. So if they've done anything, like if they've hurt somebody in the past or made a really big mistake, they might let that cloud hang over them and feel like they're not pure anymore. So you might help them to forgive themselves with something that they've done in their past. And I think like before they met you, before you knew of each other. And then what is this one now? The biggest lesson that your future spouse teaches you is choose a new direction. Ooh. So they might help you to start a new chapter of your life, to pursue a new dream, to make you less afraid of starting over. If there's some dream, something that you guys aspire to, some project or new career that you want to start, this future spouse could be a huge support in that. They'll help you to not be afraid of letting go of what you've accumulated already, letting go of the life you've lived for so long, and they'll make you feel like it is safe to start anew and that you will be rewarded if you start anew, that everything is going to go super well. So any of you guys who have big dreams, not only are they going to support you like crazy, but they'll be able to give you concrete advice. They will listen to your problems. They will help you find solutions when you're feeling afraid, when you're feeling insecure, when you're feeling like maybe you made a mistake by choosing this new direction. They will reassure you that everything is going to be okay. This person can also help you to honestly assess your current life, your current situation, and identify what isn't working for you anymore, what you need to walk away from. Basically, I feel like you guys are going through a big transition in your life alongside this person, and they're going to be a big supporter in that and teach you not to be afraid and to just boldly go in the direction of your dreams, because you have what it takes. You're going to make it happen, and they will be there with you every step of the way. Okay, so that is all the cards. I'm going to end the reading there. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Calcite with Pyrite, this is going to be a reading all about your future spouse. I am currently picking up on some chaotic energy from your spouse. This person has a lot of energy. They are spontaneous. They are a free spirit. They live in the moment. They are very funny, very expressive, charming, charismatic. This is the type of person when they walk into a room, everybody takes notice. I would say this person is very creative in many different ways, but they come up with very interesting stories, or they see the world in a very interesting way that just makes it more vivid, that makes it more beautiful, more poetic. Like seeing the world through their eyes, it's an experience. I mean, spending a day with this person too is an experience. If you spend a day with this person, you will have so much fun. You will have an unforgettable time because they're just so appreciative of everything and just completely living in the moment. If you spend time with this person, you will forget about all your problems. They're like sunshine. This person is like sunshine. So let's get into your cards. I have a ton of cards for many different decks that I'm going to use in our reading today. And the first one is the Moonology Oracle deck. What I want to find out with these cards is if you guys might already know this person or not. So we'll get a couple different scenarios with these two cards here. The first one is the energy is gaining momentum with the waxing moon. And the second one is a fiery climax approaches with the full moon in Aries. So we already have some Aries energy popping up here. Okay, some of you are actually already involved with this person. Like you're already talking to them, you're already pursuing them, you're already dating them. I think a significant chunk of you are already involved with this person. Others of you may not have met them yet, but I do think that you are already picking up on them. You're already sensing their presence energetically. Their higher self may be with you right now. You may know some things about them, even though you don't know them yet, just through your intuition, through your dreams, through messages from your higher self, your guides, their higher self. You guys are spiritually connected, even if you don't know them yet. And what you might see start to happen, like if you look at these messages, the energy is gaining momentum, a fiery climax approaches, you might start to pick up on them even stronger and stronger very soon. Maybe you start to see even more signs and synchronicities. You start to feel their energy in an even more powerful way because your encounter with them is getting close. And so this is like your spirit guide's way of letting you know, or their higher self's way of letting you know, I'm coming into your life very soon. Get ready for me. My camera timer just went to 444. It's happening soon. If you guys don't know this person yet, you will know them soon. And I wouldn't be surprised if you're already picking up on them energetically. And then, like I said, some of you guys are already involved with them. And Aries could be a dominant sign in their chart. So let's move on to the months of the year. These are 3 months of the year here, and they could really be anything. It could be their birth month. It could be a significant month in your relationship, such as when you meet, when you get into a relationship, or even when you get married. So if you do already know somebody like whose birth month falls in one of these months, or you met them in one of these months, that could be a confirmation for you. So let's see what we have. First, we have March, which actually matches with Aries. They could be an Aries born in March. We also have September and February. So if we think of these as birth months, then the zodiac signs that we have here are Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Virgo, and Libra. So those could be their signs, some signs that they have in their chart. They could be born in these months, or like I said, you guys could be meeting them in one of these months or getting into a relationship with them in one of these months. So maybe you guys see some confirmation here, or maybe these are months that you can look forward to if you haven't met them yet. For the next 2 oracle cards, these are going to show us the circumstances of your meeting. So with these cards, we can get some hints about maybe how and where you guys are meeting each other. So we have the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, and first chakra, Archangel Michael. It's so funny that you guys have 2 archangels, because before I started filming this reading, I had like started the camera and then these huge sirens started going off, and I was like waiting for them to stop so that I could start and do my hand over things, and they just wouldn't stop, and they were getting louder and louder. And some of you guys might know that's actually a sign of Archangel Michael, or it's a sign that there are angels with you. I don't know, should I put in a clip so you can hear how freaking loud they were? So yeah, this connection is definitely divinely guided. The 2 of you have angels watching over you, protecting you, sending you messages all the time, and facilitating your union. You may want to work with Archangel Michael or Archangel Raphael. They are certainly offering their help to you. Anything you want to know about this connection or any guidance for your life in general, they're very eager to help you. The numbers 38 and 35 might be significant as well. You might see these numbers before meeting your future spouse. They could be dates like March 8th and March 5th. We do have March here as well. Or they could be reversed. It could be August 3rd or May 3rd. These could be significant dates or numbers for you guys. You could also be like 3 years different in age. So like when one of you is 38, the other one would be 35. I don't know. Anyway, so the way you guys are going to meet is because you have similar interests, you have similar talents, and you have similar dreams and aspirations. And therefore, you will likely be pursuing similar careers and be involved in similar activities. So through both of you pursuing your dreams and pursuing your career, you're going to end up in the same community. Maybe you guys end up at the same event or in the same class, at the same training, at the same retreat. You know, you're in the same community together, and that is how you get to know each other. The reason I think this is because we have the heart chakra followed by the root chakra. So it's like doing something practical to bring your heart's desire and to bring your heart's passion into reality. Like putting in the work for what you love, putting in the work for your dreams. That's how the two of you are going to come together. Your future spouse might have a very nice body. It doesn't matter what their gender is, but Archangel Michael is giving us body in this card, so I just had to say it. Yeah, they will have a very nice body, whatever that means to you. It certainly doesn't have to mean that they are muscular, but they might very well be your type physically. Yes. Also, I wanted to say pay attention to any lifelike humans in all of the decks that I use, because they could give you hints about your future spouse's features, the same way I just extrapolated the body yadi yadi from Archangel Michael. You might see other features that stand out, you know, like long, luxurious hair or facial hair or something like that. You might see little features of your future spouse through the humans on these decks. So let's start now with the first impression. So we're going to see what your first impressions are of each other when you are meeting for the first time, and then we're going to see how you feel about each other after you've gotten to know each other for some time and been in the relationship. Can you hear the freaking siren again? And my camera timer is at 11:11. The number of angels that are here right now. Okay, so let's get right into it. Your first impression of your future spouse is the Four of Swords. So you will find that it's funny because I feel like your first impression of your future spouse is going to be that they're pretty chill, which I think is not the case at all. That's certainly not the energy that I was picking up on from the beginning of the reading. So it could be that they're very shy around you, and so you get the sense that they're actually very quiet, and you might actually not get the vibe from them that they're interested in you at first. They could be a little bit hard to read. If you look at this guy, he looks like he's frozen up. He looks like a statue. So they could just get, and it's funny because I didn't get that vibe from them. They seem super like confident and flamboyant and everything, but you might just make them really nervous and they kind of freeze up when you're around. And so you take that as them being really quiet or them not really being interested in talking to you or something like that. Yeah, I feel like they're going to freeze up for sure. So your first impression of them might be a little bit lackluster. And if you really like this person, you might be kind of discouraged from your first few interactions, because it might be like you're trying to start a conversation with them, you're trying to get to know them and approach them, and they're just not being very responsive. So the beginning might be a little bit discouraging for you. At the worst case, some of you guys might worry, like, did I upset them? Do they find me annoying? Are they mad at me? Your mind might go there, especially if you tend to overthink. Others of you might just be like, oh, they're kind of quiet. I can't tell if they're interested in me. But yeah, that's kind of what the vibe is going to be at first. This is their first impression of you, the King of Cups. So clearly, this person likes you a lot. So this is definitely shyness. This is definitely nerves. This is definitely them freezing up because they think you are amazing. I wouldn't go so far as to call this like love at first sight, but you just give them such a good feeling. They just feel so good when they're around you. They get butterflies when they're around you. They would definitely think about being with you. They might think a lot about being with you physically, or they might think about being in a relationship with you, or just kind of fantasize about being with you. The King of Cups is very emotional, very intuitive, so they might dream about you, sleeping or awake. They will have daydreams about you, and they think you're very talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular. They think you're amazing. So they really, really like you, and not many people make this person nervous, but you make them nervous. So they will definitely have a crush on you right from the get-go. Now let's see what you will feel about your future spouse after you've gotten to know them and you're in the relationship with them. The way you feel about them is the King of Wands. Okay, so now you're starting to see their true personality a little bit more. Once you guys get to know each other, they have really come out of their shell, and you get to see how charming and funny and loud they are. I just got this message, like, you find this person to be a badass. Like, they are so cool. You just know that they're gonna do amazing things, or they're already doing amazing things. This person inspires you to work hard, to keep working on what you're doing. Because like I said, I feel like you guys are in a similar field. And so this person is like a muse or a huge source of inspiration for you. You really admire their confidence. And this lizard is making me think of some like regenerative ability, because don't lizards like grow their tail back if it falls off? But it's making me think of like, they will just keep going and keep fighting for what they want no matter what. So if they fall down 100 times, they're gonna get up 101 times, and they're just gonna keep fighting to make it work. So you really admire their passion and their ambition. And this person is incredibly talented. When you first met them, they seemed kind of like boring or kind of quiet. And so there wasn't that much that you could get to know about them. But once you start getting to know them, they're gonna knock your socks off with all the things that they're good at. And some of the things are just weird. Like, they're really amazing at playing the kazoo, or that's stupid, but just random things you would never, like, they can snake charm or something. It's like, why can you do that? Where did you even learn how to do that? Oh, I just got bored one day, or like, I just started talking to this stranger and he taught me how to play the kazoo. Like, they're just incredible. They have so many interesting stories and interesting talents. And so it's like such a crazy contrast from when you first met them. They were like this little potato that didn't say anything, and now they're this incredible King of Wands. So it was really just a matter of them getting comfortable around you, around your amazing, beautiful self, and warming up to you, that you can really start to see their true self. So let's look at this card now. This is going to show us what they think about you after they have known you for some time. And it's the Chariot. Wow. So they feel the same way about you too. I don't know if you're a water sign, but you're coming out as water sign in both of these placements, or maybe you have a lot of water in your chart. This is Cancer energy, in case that is relevant. Oh, and this is fire sign energy. So there's a lot of signs that this person could be an Aries or a fire sign, but they have that spark in their personality. They definitely have that fire in their personality. So your future spouse, after getting to know you, thinks that you are a badass too. This person thinks that you are incredibly talented and inspiring too. They think that there is nothing you can't do. This person knows without a doubt in their mind that you are going to be so successful. They might jokingly say to you, like, don't forget about me when you're rich and famous, because they just know you're going to do amazing things and they want to be there and see it. And I feel like you guys you'll share a lot with each other, you know, what you've enjoyed recently, what has inspired you recently. You'll share posts with each other or share books with each other or ideas or movies or songs or anything that has inspired you and brought you joy. You share it with each other. This person is going to be a huge follower and supporter of you. They will, like any project that you're working on, they're going to follow it. They're going to follow you and they're going to be a really big supporter. They just think you're so talented. You can do anything. You can do anything. And I think the feeling is mutual. Definitely. It's cool. You both have like two lions or like lion looking things in your cards. So you're definitely very playful and affectionate with each other. I'm thinking about Leo energy. Your physical chemistry will be amazing. And you guys are really good at like hyping each other up. Like if the other person is feeling kind of low or kind of insecure one day, or they made something that they're not very proud of, you guys can lift each other's spirits and lift each other's self-esteem. Like you just pump out the compliments, and not like you're flattering each other for no reason, but you just remind each other of how amazing the other is. So it's really, really sweet. Okay, so let's look deeper into your future spouse's personality. The first card that we're going to look at is like the personality that they show outwardly. So the personality that is seen by most people in their life. And it's the 8 of emotions. I'm looking at this massive, I don't know if it's an eclipse or maybe it's a black hole, I don't know. But it's also making me think of regeneration. So this person could be seen as somebody who is reinventing themselves a lot, or who is kind of unpredictable. I do think that they have people watching them and admiring them. They might have a significant following in whatever they do. They definitely feel like a creative person. Yeah, they're a little unpredictable too. Maybe they're very hard to read. Maybe people's first impression of them is kind of similar to yours. Like they seem kind of hard to read, or they seem kind of detached, or there's like an air of mystery to them. This person, I'm getting that they might wear like one color, like they wear all black or they wear all white. They present themselves in a really neat and stylish way. This person's fashion and grooming is like on point. So they're very stylish, they're very attractive, but feels like not a lot of people get to scratch their surface, and they could be a little bit intimidating. They could have a bit of an intimidating vibe to them. And I'm getting also kind of like minimalist vibe from them. They seem like that type that really likes the, you know, monochrome, consistent Instagram feed, like very simple but elegant furniture in their house. They seem like this kind of person. They're all color coded and organized. That's like the type of vibe that I'm getting from them. And then they seem a little bit hard to approach, even though they're like a really a really funny and chaotic person on the inside. They just seem very, I don't know how to explain, like put together, very distant, hard to read, hard to approach. That's the vibe that they give off to people. They might be very, very sensitive on the inside. And so that's why they detach themselves, or that's why they make themselves hard to read and like put up this wall. Maybe they want to seem really put together and calm, and they don't want to show their chaotic side, but it's their chaotic side that is really genius. But maybe that's the side that people don't really get to see of them. So on that note, let's take a look at the side of their personality that is more inward, that is not so obvious or not so shown to others. And it's the Muse of Inspiration. So in this deck, this is actually the King of Wands. Yeah, so this person, like, hides a lot of their spark. Like, I know that they're admired. I know that they're like admired for what they do, and a lot of people like their work, but I feel like some of their best ideas don't see the light of day, and a lot of their genius doesn't see the light of day. Their multi-talentedness, a lot of it isn't shown. You get to see it because you get to know them. This is the same card as what you see of them when you get to know them. So you get to see all their talents and their interests, and you get to see their sense of humor and their funny and loud side. But maybe most people just see like one dimension of them. Like, I don't know, maybe everybody knows them as a writer, but nobody knows that they're also a very talented kazoo player and snake charmer, and they never will know. Like, all of their unique and quirky talents is hidden. A lot of their passion, a lot of their talent is hidden. You get to see it and you get to enjoy it though. But I don't know, why do they hide that from the rest of the world? Maybe they are shy, maybe they are worried about what people will think, and so they kind of withdraw. Let's look now at how they are in a relationship. So how do they want to be treated, or how do they show love? How do they act when they are in love? And the card here is the Emperor. So this is somebody who, once they're committed to you, they're there to stay. It will take a lot. It would take a lot to make this person leave you. They may be slow to enter the relationship as well, but once they're in the relationship, like, they're never going to leave you. They're in it for the long run. This is somebody who will be incredibly protective over you, incredibly nurturing to you. They may want to take on that role of like somebody who provides for you, somebody who cares for you and protects you, whatever you want. They want to make sure that you get it. And they'll also be incredibly loyal. So if anybody like speaks badly about you, or if anybody tries to hurt you, they will go for them. They will go fight them, or maybe not, but they will call them out. They will stand up for you no matter what. They will always take, your side of the story. Basically, they'll be incredibly loyal to you, as if you're like family to them. So you guys are going to have a really strong and really stable bond. As for love languages, I think this person likes quality time. Like, they just like you to be there with them. But I also think that they will give you gifts. They will give you very sentimental and very thoughtful gifts. So it's not just like, here, look, I spent money on you, but it's like they get something that is really personalized to your taste, something that is reminiscent of a memory that the two of you have, or something that you shared with them. They remember, and they get you very like specific gifts. They might even actually make them for you, because they definitely have the ability to do that. They might actually make really nice things for you. Okay, so finally, let's take a look at the card that represents their career. As you guys can probably tell, I am getting a lot of artist vibes from this pile, and we have the Hierophant. So I don't know, I feel like this person is an icon. I feel like this person has a presence. Like, this is them. This is people looking up to them. They are huge. To some extent, I think this person has a following. It could be that they are very well known in their niche. It could be that they're very well known in general. They could be a musician. They could be a writer. They could be a fashion designer as well. They could also design like home things, like design homes or design furniture. They could do something in real estate too, that is coming up. But something about their creative talent and their unique way of seeing the world, it helps them in their work, and it's helped them to gain this presence. Yeah, like what they do is iconic. They might be kind of like a game changer in their industry. They could also be a teacher or a coach of some kind, or they make a living off of sharing their skills, like teaching people how to get their skills or teaching people what they know. So that could be another job of this person, but they have a lot of authority, they have a lot of power. They're definitely independent. I don't think that this person has a boss. They might have like a manager or a label or something like that, but it's not really like somebody gets to decide what they do. I think that very much comes from them. We also have Taurus energy here. So the next part of the reading is going to be about family and friends. We're going to see how your family and friends feel about your future spouse and how your future spouse's family and friends feel about you. So let's start with your friends and see how your friends feel about your future spouse. And there's 7 of Pentacles. Okay, I feel like, yeah, you're gonna like this person for quite some time before you get into the relationship with them. So there's a bit of like a waiting period. You have to be patient, wait for them to come around, and sometimes you might feel very hopeful, sometimes you might feel discouraged. And so I feel like your friends are going to know a lot about this person before they even meet them, because maybe you're sharing with them like what you're going through emotionally. Like when you develop a crush on this person, you tell your friends about it. When things start to go well, you tell them. When things are moving slowly, you know, you vent to them and talk about how much you like them, and maybe you're getting impatient. And so it's like from the beginning, your friends are like rooting for this connection. They've heard a lot about your partner and they really want this to happen. So when you guys do get together, they're gonna be so happy and so excited to meet your future spouse, to meet your partner. And they're gonna feel like it was so worth the wait. They're gonna be so happy that you stuck it out and that you guys eventually got together. They're gonna be so happy that you guys like came out of your shells to share yourselves with each other. And they're really going to see a future. Your friends will recognize your compatibility, recognize how good you are for each other, and they're going to be incredibly supportive of the relationship. So that's really, really nice to see. Now, as for how your family will feel about your future spouse, there's the Empress. So your family is feeling super positive. Wow. Your family might like be more excited about you getting together with your future spouse than your friends. They're going to absolutely adore your future spouse. The Empress is beautiful, loving, caring, hardworking, dedicated, nurturing, abundant, creative. Did I already say creative? She's like the epitome of beauty and grace and talent and success. This is how they're going to feel about your future spouse, and they're gonna feel like if anybody is good enough for you, it's this person. Maybe your family has very, very high standards for who you end up with because you deserve the best, and they're so kind of same as your friends. Like they're happy that you waited for the right person. They're very happy that the right person came along, and they definitely feel that this person is the one. They're really, really happy with this union. So I love to see this positivity all around. I know it can be kind of nerve-wracking to introduce your partner to your family and friends. So it's just really nice. It's a relief to see that everything has gone well here. So now let's look on the other side and see what your future spouse's friends think about you. And there's 3 of Pentacles. So you might actually already know your future spouse's friends. You guys might actually have mutual friends. If you met in this community, if you met because you have similar career paths, you will probably like meet your future spouse and make friends with them at the same time as you meet their friends. And you might actually be working and collaborating with their friends. So there's no nerves here. There's like, you already know them. You're already friendly with them. You might actually be pretty close with them already. You guys all have similar interests. Like I said, you might be working together. So they're obviously very happy and very, very supportive about the relationship. And I feel like they're really loyal to you as well. They will stand up for you, speak out for you, support you the same way that, I don't know why I'm pointing to Michael, but the same way that your future spouse stands up for you and supports you, their friends will do the same because they are your friends. So you guys are a really nice, like, tight-knit group. You guys probably hang out all together very frequently. Maybe there are some other couples in your friend group as well. And maybe with time you could like introduce your friends from the other part of your life, like your friends outside of this community. Maybe you could introduce them into the group if you wanted to. I feel like that would be nice. But wow, it looks really healthy so far. So now let's take a look at how their family feels about you. And there's the Ten of Wands. You guys might not see your future spouse's family that much. Your future spouse, they might like tell you it's because they're too busy to see their family, or their family is too busy to see them. But I think that the truth is that they might not have a good relationship with their family, because this is like somebody is carrying a burden. Somebody's carrying a burden, and usually this is not the happiest card for relationships. It can show that like one person is carrying all the weight while the other person is like distant or not responsive or withdrawn. So maybe they could have parted ways with their family. They could have had not the best relationship, or they just don't have a very close, intimate relationship with them. So they might kind of avoid seeing them. Maybe going to see them just makes them very, very stressed out, because the Ten of Wands can be about being stressed too. You know, they're doing something very unique in the world, and they're a very unique person, and sometimes people aren't supportive of things that are out of the box. So maybe it has to do with that. I'm not sure, but I just think you won't see them that much because there's something about their family or their family dynamic that kind of stresses them out, which is a shame. But I'm happy that you have such a strong support group here with your friends, with your family. It looks really, really nice. I don't know. I feel like your future spouse will say like this doesn't bother them. They've gotten over it, but deep down, it does make them kind of sad. So maybe they will open up about that when they're ready, but even I can't really pry and see what happened there. So they might kind of brush that off. You know, like if it's a holiday, they'll be like, oh, like we can go spend it with your family. We don't need to see my family. It's fine. This kind of thing. Okay, so let's move on to the final oracle cards, and these are going to give us a sense of your life and your relationship together. So starting with this card, which will show us about your home life, and it's the Seven of Earth. So this is actually the same card as the Seven of Pentacles. So this to me feels very loving, very supportive, very worth the wait. This is about like your home life when you live together. So this could mean that it takes a long time for you guys to move in together. Like you could be dating for a long time before you actually even talk about sharing a home together. But once you do, I think it's going to be super beautiful. Not only is it very comfortable, it has everything you need. I could see it being like in a really nice location that is convenient for both of you, and also like aesthetically it seems to be really nice, very well furnished, because this person has really nice aesthetic. Maybe you do too if you guys are in the same field. So this will definitely be a gorgeous home. I think it will be quite lavish because this isn't a while from now, and by the time you guys move in together you'll both be more successful and more wealthy. So probably the future house that you're gonna live in with your future spouse is like a huge upgrade from what both of you are in right now. Like a very nice home, and people in your life will definitely want you to invite them over, and they will love to come over because it's just gorgeous. I'm seeing like you guys have a really nice rug. Maybe you have a fireplace, so it feels very cozy and homey. I know it's weird to say you have a nice rug, but that's just that's just what I saw. You guys might have a pet as well, and you might have a pool. Like this is a big home. In terms of your actual like living together and the meshing of your lifestyles, I honestly see it to be very harmonious, which has not been the case in all of the piles. In fact, I think the two before this one, it was like the lifestyles are very different, and so you have to put in a lot of work for them to, you know, mesh well together. But I think you guys, like, your habits are very similar. The way you live in your home is very similar, like where you like to keep things, how you like to clean things, what foods you like to eat, all of that stuff matches up really well. And, you know, those little things added up, it just makes living together so very easy. So you really have a comfortable and luxurious home life for sure. Your next card is, aw, you are supported. I mean, this has come up so much in this reading, and this will be the two of you supporting each other as well. I've already seen you guys to be so encouraging to each other in your career, in your creative projects, and also emotionally. Like, you can finally feel safe to start opening up about certain things, like what we saw here, you know, family issues or childhood issues. You feel very, very safe in your environment and with this person that you can start to open up about those things. You can start to share about your past. You can start to share about your fears and insecurities without being afraid of any sort of judgment. And I think you'll actually find that the wounds that you live with, or the burdens that you have lived with, in many ways, they are quite similar. Like, things may not have played out in the exact same way, but like the insecurities that you face as a result, or the issues that you deal with as a result of your respective experiences, could be quite similar. Like, maybe one of you has the wound from childhood, one of you has the wound from a significant romantic relationship. I think you get the picture, but you'll be able to recognize what the other is going through and be a really huge source of support and feel very, very safe to open up about all of those things. Both of you. And your future spouse is a huge, like, protector and nurturer of you, so I definitely know that you will feel very safe with them. Your romance angel card, look at this. This is such a beautiful card to come out. Like, after this card, you are supported, you deserve love, you are lovable. The affection. What I love about this card is, like, you know, this is also about something building up slowly over time, something building up long term, like the way a plant grows. You need to give it love, you need to give it water, it needs to get sunlight, it needs to be put in the right kind of soil. And little by little, it grows in its own time. And this is the kind of patience and the kind of nurturing you show to each other. You slowly allow each other to blossom and open up and come out of your shell in your own time. And what I really love about this is, like, no matter how much time goes by in this relationship, you will still, like, your love never fades. You will never lose interest in each other. You will never lose the willingness to put the work and put the effort into the relationship. You'll never lose your butterflies. Like, I'm looking at the little cupids here and the arrow. It's like, it always feels like you just got hit with that arrow. It always feels like you're just meeting and just developing a crush on each other. So even when things have calmed down, you still have, like, those affectionate emotions from your honeymoon phase, and you'll never give up on each other. It's always worth the work. It's so sweet. It's like a labor of love. I often feel this energy with the Seven of Earth or the Seven of Pentacles. but you're always there to remind each other how worthy you are, how amazing you are. Like we said earlier, you're always there to lift up each other's spirits when you're feeling a little bit down. You guys are like each other's biggest fan, biggest supporter. Everything that you do, your partner is there to support it, and vice versa. So these are the final cards of the reading. These are just going to show us like the major lessons that the two of you will teach each other. So this one will be, what is the major lesson that you teach your future spouse, and what is the major lesson that your future spouse teaches you? So what you teach your future spouse is no need to worry. So yes, after all, remember we saw they're like kind of withdrawn, or they only show some of themselves, but there's a lot of imagination, a lot of creativity, a lot of their talents, like really their true spark that they kind of hide, or that they're kind of reluctant to show. I think that as talented as this person is, and as charming as this person is, there's a little sensitive part of them that is scared about what people will think. And as much as they hype you up and tell you to go for it, share your gifts with the world, be loud and proud, sometimes I feel like they kind of struggle to take their own advice. And they do worry. It's like they're afraid. There's a part of them that is afraid of criticism, that is afraid of rejection. There may be a part of them that is like they always want to outdo themselves, and we see them always changing, always reinventing themselves and what they're putting out. I think they're afraid maybe that people will get bored of what they're doing, or that, you know, maybe they're putting out things that are really good now, but eventually people are going to get disappointed. They're worried about that. They're worried about disappointing people or not meeting people's expectations. And I think you help to remind them, like, yes, it's great to get validation, it's great to be successful and to be well received, but at the end of the day, you have to do what you love, and you should be confident no matter what. And with your unconditional love for this person, you help them to unconditionally love themselves and to stop worrying so much about what people are gonna say. And I feel like their worries are unnecessary anyway, because people love what they do, and I'm sure if they opened up a bit more and showed all of themselves, that would be well received too. But they just worry, they just get in their heads. So you help to remind them that there's absolutely nothing to worry about, that they are very lovable, and not just in a romantic sense, like just as a person, just in general, they are so lovable, they are so deserving of all of the praise, all of the attention, all of the recognition. They deserve the whole world. You feel this way about them, they feel this way about you, and you guys just need to both feel this way about yourselves as well. And also all of your friends feel this way about you guys as well. All of your friends think you guys are amazing. Amazing as individuals and amazing as a couple too. And then the final card that we have here, this is the major lesson that your future spouse teaches you. And it says not the right time. This is like a divine timing card to me. So they will teach you about the importance of divine timing in your life. You know, the way from the time that you meet them to the time that they start opening up to you, to the time that you get together, to the time you move in together. You know, within your relationship, there is divine timing at play. Within your career as well, within your aspirations manifesting, with you reaching your goals, there is divine timing at play there as well. And I think this person teaches you to be patient and teaches you to be consistent and to keep having faith even if you don't see results immediately. So you learned that even before getting with them, because I feel like the process of getting together with them and getting them to open up, that even teaches you about patience and divine timing without them really even trying to teach you that. But then even after you get together, They will teach you to trust and believe in divine timing on your career path, on the path to your dreams, because they believe in you. And such a difficult part of being patient, it comes from uncertainty, I feel. Like, if we knew for sure that our blessing was coming, it would be easy to wait. If we knew 100% it was coming and it was just a matter of time, it would be so easy. But when we don't know, it's like the more and more time goes by, we feel like, what if it's really not happening? What if I really am going to fail? What if nothing is going to come from this? And so they help you to maintain that certainty that you are on the right path, that you are incredibly talented, incredibly worthy, and it's just divine timing. It will come at the perfect time and there's nothing to worry about. So they help you to stay patient and they help you to stay consistent in your efforts and keeping that faith. And so in some way, it's kind of the same lesson because they're teaching you not to worry. So you have a really calming, nurturing, reassuring effect on each other. You're so affectionate towards each other. It's like the sweetest thing. And people, obviously, people who you share your relationship with, who know about your relationship, because I feel like maybe not everybody knows about it, but they will see that. They will see the love between the two of you, and it's just like the sweetest thing to witness. Okay, so I'm going to end your reading there. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi, number 4s. So if you guys chose the Chrysocolla, this is going to be a reading all about your future spouse. And oh my gosh, can I just say, I'm like overwhelmed with the sweetest energy right now. I think your future spouse is like, not to be dramatic or anything, but I think your future spouse is like an earth angel or something, because they're just the sweetest, purest, cutest little thing I ever picked up on. They're so kind, so thoughtful, so genuinely compassionate, so empathetic, and so adorable. And this sounds kind of weird, but it's like they don't realize how cute they are, and then that makes them even cuter. But they're just such a good, kind person. They see the best in everybody. They would never, ever do anything to hurt somebody or to, judge somebody else or put somebody down. They only want to bring the best out in others, and they only want to support and uplift others. This person has a very healing and soothing energy to them. I do think they are a healer, whether they realize it or not. From not even from a spiritual perspective, but just as a human, I do think that they feel the pull to help others. They may feel called to a job that allows them to help other people, something like healthcare or childcare or education or social work, therapy, something like that. They may even feel drawn to volunteer or do charity work. Whether they're doing it or not, I feel like the pull is there. And in fact, now that I mention it, I think some of you guys, your future spouse is doing a job that's like completely unrelated to those things, and they might feel kind of unfulfilled because they kind of feel like the point of the job they're doing now is just to make more money or just to benefit themselves, and they want to do something that really, benefits and helps other people. So they may be a little bit dissatisfied with that regard in their life. But wow, what a gentle soul. I think that's like the best word to describe them. They're just a very gentle soul. They have a very cute face. They have a little twinkle in their eye. They have cute cheeks. And they have cute teeth, which is weird. I don't know why that is coming up, but I guess people can have cute teeth. But anyway, that's what I can pick up on them from just the initial feeling. And let's get into the cards now. I'm very sorry about the shadow. Like, the sun is starting to go down, but I really wanted to finish this video. So Anyway, I'm sorry about the strange lighting. So let's start with your Moonology Oracle cards. These are going to give us a hint as to whether or not you have met this person before or know who this person might be. And so with these two cards, we'll get a couple different scenarios for you guys who chose this pile. So the first one that we have is it's time to release negativity with the full moon in Scorpio. And then we have you are good enough. Is it focusing? There we go. You are good enough with the full moon in Virgo. There we go. Okay, I have to say, I think the vast majority of you guys who chose this pile, you at the very least know of this person. Like you've heard of them before, you've spoken to them before, you've met them once before. You have some awareness of them, it seems like. Some of you, it might be you've had a further relationship with them. Maybe you have been involved with them before or even currently involved with them. But I think it's a very small percent of you watching this who like have no idea who this is. You've never come across them, never felt their energy before. I think you guys are already quite familiar with their energy. And you've either like, you've had at least one interaction in this incarnation, or you've been made aware of their existence in this incarnation already. I think that's really the case for the vast majority of you guys. And I think you've had many, many, many past lives with this person. A lot of you guys, I think you know who they are, but you're not in contact. You could have been through a separation, or you're in like a no communication situation right now. Scorpio and Virgo might be significant zodiac signs for your future spouse. This connection is all about healing. Through this connection, you will heal when you're together, you will heal when you're separated. As soon as your energies interact, it like triggers the healing journey. You're clearing a lot of karma, you're clearing a lot of past wounds, past negativity, and you're on this journey of realizing your worth and of coming to love yourself and nurture yourself and heal yourself. That's like a big theme within this connection. A lot of you guys might meet and then separate and then come back together. You may even, and when I say separate, it doesn't necessarily mean like break up, but just, you know, come into contact and then not see each other for a long time and then come back into contact. You guys may even like date somebody else or several other people while you're not in contact with this person. So like you meet or come together, you date other people, you have other experiences, and then like everything comes back around full circle. So this could be like a right person, wrong time situation. And then when you guys are ready, when you've learned all your lessons, when you've healed, you come back perfectly together. That's kind of what the energy feels like. So I think a lot of you guys already know who this is. Most of you. It is a general reading, so I'm not confident to say like 100% of you, but yeah, as we go through the description of this person, I think you'll be able to tell, you know, if it sounds like someone you know or not, if it sounds like the person you have in mind or not. What I want to do next is look at these months of the year. These can show us the birth month of your future spouse, or they could be significant months in your connection, such as when you guys meet or when you guys get together, when you reunite, or even when you get married. So pay attention to these months if you do know somebody or have somebody on your mind who was born in this month or who you met in one of these months. That could be a sign of confirmation for you. So the first month that we have is June. Then November. So that matches. November and Scorpio could match if that's their birth month. And then the last one is, oh my gosh, the last one is December. So if these are birth months, the possible zodiac signs we could have here, in addition to Scorpio and Virgo that we've already seen, these can be like Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. There's also Gemini, Cancer, Sagittarius, and Capricorn that would be showing up here. And then again, these could be the months that you guys are meeting or months that you are getting together. So please take those how they resonate, take them as a confirmation or as something to look forward to if one of these months is coming up at the time that you're watching this. So for the next oracle cards, these are going to give us some hints about the circumstances of your meeting. So like how and where you guys meet maybe. We have door to value and door to personal healing and happiness. We have 2 doors. And you can pay attention to the numbers too. There's 31 and 34. These may be numbers that you see before your union or before your reunion. They could also be dates. It could be March 1st or January 3rd. This could be March 4th or April 3rd. Those might be some significant dates for you guys. With the door to value, with the money coming out, somebody's work might be involved in the way the 2 of you meet. It doesn't necessarily mean that you like work together or share the same workplace, although it could be, but it could be that your fields of work would allow you to cross paths, or you meet at their work or they meet you at your work, or something about pursuing your career journey leads you to crossing paths with them. Something about career and finances is involved. It could also be, you see how this door to personal healing and happiness, it's like wide open, and then the door to value is kind of more closed. It's making me think like you feel so strongly about each other emotionally. You feel how healing this connection could be, how beautiful this could be, but because of somebody's job, it can't progress because it looks like the door is closing in the door to value. So somebody's job might be like a factor, might be a blockage in the connection because of their position, because of who they know, because of their schedule, their responsibilities. It could be yours too. Or maybe they're having financial issues, they're having career issues, or you are, and that's going to create a blockage in the 2 of you coming together. But somebody's work is involved. That's what I can say from these 2 cards, in how the 2 of you come together. And it's like if work and money wasn't a factor, you guys would just be completely free to be exactly as you are, to express how you feel. But this is closing the door somehow. This is creating a blockage somehow. So let's get into some tarot cards now. The first thing we're going to look at is your first impressions of each other. So we'll start by looking at your first impression of your future spouse, and then we'll look at their first impression of you. So your first impression of your future spouse is the Queen of Cups. So this is no surprise, judging what I picked up from them when I was just sitting with this beautiful Chrysocolla over here. You're gonna sense deep into their soul right from the first meeting. Even if they're not showing you that much, not revealing that much, you can just feel their soul so deeply, so vividly. You see right into this person. So you can sense that beautiful, gentle, kind, empathetic soul that is within them. I do often see with the Queen of Cups that it's a very strong soul connection. So you may be able to communicate telepathically with this person. You may be able to sense their thoughts and emotions. They may come up in your dreams very often. The Queen of Cups, to me, she just often indicates this very psychic connection. You might also feel these like protective instincts come up when you're around this person, this feeling like they're just so pure and they need to be protected. You always want them to be happy. You would never want their heart to get hurt. You would never want them to be tired or lonely. Like you just want to give them the world. There's going to be this very strong instinct when you meet them that you want to take care of them, because it's like you recognize how gentle and pure their soul is. It almost feels like they're too pure for this world, because like this world is just too cruel or too harsh or too unforgiving for this little angel. At least that's how you're going to feel about them. So really, really sweet energy right off the bat. And what is their first impression of you? Page of Wands. You light up, I was gonna say you light up this person's life. That sounds very dramatic, but they really see you like this beautiful ray of light. They see you like this ray of hope. This person might be feeling kind of down when they first meet you. Like not because they met you, sorry, that was phrased badly. They might be in a phase of their life where they're feeling kind of down. Maybe they're feeling kind of lost. Some of them might be even feeling a little bit depressed, like they're losing their sense of direction or they're losing their sense of purpose and just feeling altogether discouraged about their future. But there's something about you, there's something about the spark in you, there's something about the light in you that gives them hope again. They aspire to be more like you. There's something about you guys are like a go-getter. You guys might be the more outgoing type, or you might be the type who doesn't really care what people think, or at least that's how they see you. They see you as someone who lives authentically. They see you as someone who boldly goes after what they want, and they love that, and they wish that they could be more like that. There's something like they wish they had the spark that they see in you. They wish they had the light that they see in you. And they probably do have it. It's just kind of gotten lost, but something about you like reignites that in them, or it reminds them that it's somewhere in them. I know this sounds very like esoteric, this sounds very spiritual, but that's the kind of like reaction you have with each other. For some reason or another, they may doubt that you're really serious about them. Or they may doubt that you're going to stick around. Maybe they think like, you know, you have this amazing life ahead of you and maybe you're just going to go off and go on adventures and have amazing experiences and forget about them. Maybe they think that they would never be your type. They might think that you're already seeing somebody. But there's something like they just kind of doubt if you are really, like if you want a serious relationship or if you're material for a serious relationship. Don't take it the wrong way, but they might, like just from their first impression, they might think that like you're not really serious about the relationship. They might even think that you have some like player tendencies, or they might think that you just like want to hook up with them, or you just want something casual. They might get that kind of vibe from you, and they might not know like how stable you are or how sensitive you are, or like what kind of material you are for the long term. Now this is just a first impression, okay? So this is not like how they will continue thinking about you, but they just kind of, I think they have some like doubts or some worries in the very beginning. So let's look now at how you guys feel about each other after you have gotten to know each other, after you have been in the relationship. So how you feel about this person is the 5 of Swords. So yeah, it does look like a lot of you guys might like meet or get together, and then there might be a separation, because the 5 of Swords can indicate separations, but it can also indicate like confusion. So you feel this really strong connection from the get-go, but they might be kind of slow to act. They may be blocked in some way. And so over time, I think this is one that will take a long time to sort of like come together and really reach its fullest potential. Over time, you might start to have doubts. Maybe this is even where you guys are right now, if you already know who this person is. You might start to have doubts about this connection. You might start to have doubts about this person. Some of you guys might even move on for a while, like move on and be with other people, or just kind of, you know, try to move on, try to forget about this person, because I think there will be a time where things aren't really moving and it will feel like things are not going anywhere. It will feel discouraging and it will leave you feeling kind of confused. Like, why did I feel so strongly? Or why did the universe bring this person to me if nothing is happening between the two of us? And it's not that nothing is happening, it's just that this is a very long journey. This is a very long journey that you have to traverse to see the whole picture. This does require patience, this does require faith, and this does require work. I guess I want you guys to know, like, if this is resonating with somebody that you know or somebody that you know of, that you will have another chance to end up with them, but you certainly don't have to. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the intro, but I did do a disclaimer that this reading is not meant to tell you who you will inevitably end up with, but it's like a strong potential for your future spouse based on your current path. But I will say this is kind of a long journey that would take a lot of patience. So, I mean, if you guys don't want to stick it out on this journey, that is like 1,000,000% fine. It's entirely up to your free will, because this might not be like the easiest connection. It seems like it would be very worth it. It seems like you have a beautiful connection, but your free will is the most important. So, moving on here, this is how they will feel about you after getting to know you, and it's the Four of Pentacles. This person doesn't want to let go of you. This person cannot let go of you. They will not let go of you. So, any of their doubts that they had here are squashed. If you guys did separate, they will really miss you. They will desperately want you back. This is like, you can see this person is clutching on so tightly to the coin. They will not let go. They're standing on the coin so the coins can't get away. To me, this is like realizing the value of what you have and realizing that you can't let go. So they have seen your worth once they get to know you, and they don't want anyone else. Even if they try to move on, even if they try to be with other people, their heart seems to always come back to you. Their heart seems to always call to you and miss you. And I don't think this person will ever like fully let go or ever fully forget about you. So moving on now, we're going to get a little bit deeper into your future spouse's personality. And what we'll start with is the part of their personality that is more out in the open, like the part of themselves that they show to many people. And there is the world. So I'm feeling, you see how the world is like masking this person's face? I think when we talk about career, like the career being a block, I think that this is probably their career. I think they're very successful in it, but they have a kind of like persona. People know them as their career. People know them as what they do for a living. And I think people don't really see this like sweet and gentle and sensitive and vulnerable side to them. They're more known for their accomplishments. They're known for their success. They're known for this persona that they put up, which is like, I think very confident and very bold, and maybe seems like kind of alpha persona. I think they have a lot of eyes on them, and they're very, very good at what they do. But I wonder if their heart is like really in it, because 21, this is like the last major arcana. This is completion. And in the context of this reading, like knowing what I've picked up about them, this might feel like they've reached the end. They feel like they've achieved everything they can in this career, but it's like they have to keep it up. They have to keep up this persona. There's people who are watching them. There's people who are counting on them, and they're still kind of in it. This person might be a little bit, I don't know if they're like a public figure, but they just might have a lot of pressure on them or a lot of expectations on them. So like a lot of people are counting on them to do their job. They might work like with a large scale of people, even if it's not necessarily like they're a public figure, although it could be. But yeah, the part of their personality they show is mostly like their work ethic, their talents, their accomplishments, like what they do. It's more about what they do rather than who they are. And so I think they kind of like crave for some of that genuine heart-to-heart connection, and it feels like they're not really getting it in their career. So let's see what part of their personality is more hidden, so their inner self. And it's the Hanged Muse, which is the Hanged Man in traditional tarot. This is Pisces energy, so your future spouse could have Pisces energy in their chart as well. And yeah, this kind of confirms what I saw here with the World. I think they are feeling kind of stuck. They're feeling like they can't express themselves genuinely. And interestingly, there's 21 here and 12 here. So these numbers are mirroring each other. It makes me feel like it's polar opposite, like the version of themselves that they show to the world and the version, well, not the version, and who they truly are inside. It's like so different. But remember, you saw this person, or you will see this person for who they truly are, like from the second you meet them. And maybe you were a little bit bold in revealing that, and maybe that's why they got kind of scared. Like, you said something or approached them in a way where, like, it's obvious you see them, it's obvious you know who they are. And I feel like this person might have been a little bit scared of being seen that quickly, like they're not really used to it, but you saw this part of them, and it's likely you very strongly feel these parts of them that need to be healed. You guys might really feel that on their end as well. But this person is very sensitive, very emotional, very compassionate, very dreamy. They might be a little bit spacey. Spacey, romantic, very romantic. But maybe they have to go out and act like this business person or this salesperson or this like star who is all strong and unbothered, and it's just not them. They're like really soft and squishy and sensitive. So that's the part of them that is kind of hiding, and they feel kind of stuck. They feel like they cannot express this side of themselves. So moving on, this is going to show us how they are in a relationship. So how they like to be loved or give love, or what they're like when they're in love, and all this kind of stuff. And we have the Four of Voices. So I mean, I'm not surprised. This is the Four of Swords. So this is a very soothing person to be in a relationship with. It, like, spending time with them or getting close to them, it will literally feel like you are soaking in this cosmic bath, in this purple, sparkly, dreamy, vast sea. You can just float and just relax and just be. Their presence is very, very calming, very relaxing. Again, the rose petals here, they're making me think that this person is incredibly romantic. I think they're very sensual as well. So they will bring you a lot of pleasure. And I think this person is a homebody. They would prefer to spend an evening at home and like order takeout or cook something and watch movies or play games if that's your thing, or just talk, like just drink tea or drink wine and just talk. I think this person really likes food and drink because I keep thinking of those kind of examples. And they really like to just enjoy quiet time. This person might be more of an introvert, more of a homebody, like I said. So as for their love language, I'm gonna say quality time and physical touch for sure. And this person, this sounds really weird, but they have like magical hands. They have healing hands, you know. So when they touch you physically with their hands, it's like heaven. It's like amazing. Whatever they're doing, it's amazing. So let's move on. This is the final card, which will tell us more about their career or what they're doing in the world, what they're doing for a living and things of this nature. And ooh, it's the Two of Voices, which is the Two of Swords in traditional tarot. So yeah, this to me really confirms what I was picking up in the beginning, because I felt like the type of job that they want to do, that they feel really called to do in their heart of hearts, and what they're actually doing for a job is like completely different. So I think this person wants to help other people. They want to be like I'm just trying to remember the examples I gave in the beginning. I think jobs that would be best suited for this person are like a social worker, a therapist, a nurse, a teacher, something where they can like nurture and help to heal other people. And they may also really want to do like volunteer work. I think stuff like activism might be kind of stressful for them. Like it might be kind of overwhelming for them. But things where they can help people on a more like one-on-one level and they can feel that kind of human connection, I think they would be really good with that. Or they could work with animals or children as well, or work in nature. These are such like earth angel professions, but I think they do best in this kind of environment where they can help other people and really feel like the work that they're doing is not just for them, like it's not just serving them, and also it's not just to like generate income. They want something that's fulfilling in their heart. So maybe the job that they're doing now, it's just about like making more sales, and they probably don't like all this attention that their persona gets or all this attention that they get. They might be like put on a pedestal in some way, or have a lot of expectations, or be idolized even in some way, and I just feel like they really don't like that, and they don't feel like they're giving back in any way. And I feel a lot of like sadness coming through when I think about that. They wish that they could just be like grounded and down to earth and working with people and helping people. That's what they really wish for. So they're in this constant like limbo between if they should stay with what they're currently doing, because I think a lot of people need them in what they're currently doing. If they left, it wouldn't be so easy. They might have some attachments or some commitments, but it's not really where their heart lies, so they're kind of stuck like this. Okay, so moving on, let's look at friends and family. So we want to see first how your friends feel about them and how your family feels about them, and then we'll see how their friends and family feel about you. So starting off with your friends, there's Page of Swords. So your friends definitely have a good time with this person. They have good conversation, they laugh together. I feel like they might not have the deepest relationship. It feels a little bit surface level, because for your future spouse, who is like the Queen of Cups, who is the Hanged Man, who is so deep and emotional, to come up as the Page of Swords, who's like, I don't know, like he's fun, he's talkative, he's intellectually stimulating, but he's also a little bit like immature. So I feel like your friends don't really see the full extent of your future spouse. They might hang out in a sort of more casual way, or they might like send each other text messages sometimes, casually talk to each other sometimes, but it doesn't seem like something that gets that deep, I guess. As for your family, there is the Eight of Pentacles. Ooh, this is actually very positive. I think that your family finds you and your future spouse to be very compatible. I was going to say perfect. I guess because I often read the Eight of Pentacles as like someone who's a perfectionist, then just the word perfect came to my mind. They think that you guys are really good for each other and really healthy for each other. Maybe they've seen the way that you have matured since meeting this person, the way that you've worked on yourself since meeting this person. It's like maybe they feel that this person is a very good influence on you. They feel like the two of you could create a really solid foundation together, create a really good life together, create a really good family together. It's like from a very practical perspective, they think that your future spouse is like a wise choice. Like they really think it's a good match. You know, I guess there would be some instances where like parents or family might not think that it's the best match, but they're like, you know what, it's your life, and if you really love them, then you should be with them and follow your heart. But even from a practical perspective, your family thinks like logically, objectively, this is a good match. Does that make sense? It's not just from a heart place, but it's like they can practically see why you work well together. So Now let's see how their friends think of you, and it's the star. So their friends freaking love you. Their friends love you. They think you guys are like a match made in heaven. They think you are brilliant. They think you are a genius. They think you're super talented. They love to be around you. There's something about you that is very uplifting and inspiring to them. This spark and this light that your future spouse saw in you, their friends see it too. So maybe everybody sees it. Maybe you guys are just amazing, brilliant souls, because it certainly looks that way. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but you should be very confident in yourself, and any dream that you have, you are going to accomplish it. You are going to become the star. All of your wildest dreams are going to come true. I know that this is about what their friends think about you, but I just wanted to interrupt for that pep talk, because holy crap, guys, like if you're coming through as the star, your future is so bright, your future is so promising, and you are so strongly admired, and you will be so strongly cheered on by this person's friends. I think you will actually become very good friends with this person's friends, and you will all support each other. You will all encourage each other. It's going to be a really nice, healthy group. And I think that eventually, your future spouse, yourself, and everybody is going to find the path that is right for them. I know that this story has a happy ending for all of you. For you and them and their friends, you're all going to find your perfect profession, your perfect path, and all of your dreams are going to come true. And you guys will be able to celebrate this amazing future together. Wow. Okay, so finally, let's see how their family feels about you. Whoa, it's the Queen of Cups. So the way their family feels about you is your first impression of your future spouse. So their family is probably gonna realize how similar you guys are. Probably they'll have the same feeling as your family, where it's like, wow, this is a really good match. This is a really perfect match. And they will probably be laughing to themselves about how similar you guys are. Like the same mannerisms, the same quirks, the same ways of speaking, you have the same unpopular opinions on things. Maybe you have like weird views or weird preferences. And when I say weird, I'm not like judging you. I just mean like off the beaten path. Like you think differently than others in some way. And you have the same very gentle and kind and healing nature. So you guys are both healers. It's funny, like you're seeing their true self right from the first impression. Like, it's like, not to be dramatic or anything, but it's like you know them, you literally know them as well as their family members. And they see so much of their sibling or their child or whatever it is. They see so much of them in you, and they see so much of you in them. Like, it's like some kind of uncanny coincidences that their family is going to pick up on. And I think their family is going to really support this connection and really want to see the two of you be happy together. Okay, so the last part of the reading, these are the final oracle cards that we have here, and these are going to talk more about your relationship together, more about your life together. I don't want to rush. I really don't want to rush, but I do want to finish the reading before it gets too dark, because I can just see it's getting darker and darker. Okay, so this card is going to represent your home life, and there's the Chariot. Ooh, so you guys might actually move in together quite quickly. Like after you become a couple, I feel like things are going to progress very fast after you have your union or after you have your reunion. It's like you're making up for lost time. You're making up for lost time. You're jumping ahead. And the two of you are you're just so sure about each other. I haven't said anything like this for any of the other piles, but if you guys live in an apartment building, you might live on the 7th floor. I just felt like saying that. I didn't say anything like that before. And I think you guys, you kind of have different habits and different lifestyles, like as a result of your job, you know what I mean? Like maybe you have to be awake and go to sleep at different times, or you're in the house and out of the house at different times. Because I'm just getting this feeling like you guys won't be together in the house that often. And maybe that's why this like downtime and quality time and intimate time is like so important to them. Because if they're away from you, they're going to start missing you like crazy. They're going to miss you like crazy. But yeah, I think like maybe for both of your jobs, you guys have to be moving around. You guys may have to travel for your jobs as well. And the schedule might be kind of unpredictable. Maybe one of you has to work very early, one of you has to work very late, this kind of thing. I don't know, I'm just getting the vibe like you guys will be out and about a lot, like you're both very busy. And so it might be a little bit hard to make time together. So when you do have time together, it's like, it's really, really precious. The next card that we have is, this is like light pouring down on you. So if I were to translate this into a tarot card, I would say this is like the 10 of Cups. This is just like pure joy, pure bliss. When you guys finally unite, or when you finally reunite, your home life is going to be so happy. Like you could not ask for more. It's funny, you guys have, there's like a white and black cat here, and there's a white and black horse here. So maybe you guys will have like 2 pets. Maybe you have 2 cats or something. I don't know if you will have pet horses, but I mean, you could. But maybe you have like a white pet and a black pet. Just looking at the animals here. But you're gonna have such a happy home life. I feel like you guys, I don't want to say you never fight, because I don't know. Maybe there are couples who never ever fight, but for the most part, you're incredibly peaceful. You're incredibly harmonious, incredibly compatible. The time that you spend apart, it just makes you like long for each other and miss each other even more. And I think this is actually going to help and like prolong your honeymoon phase for quite some time. And I see you guys being like crazy about each other for quite some time. When you guys get older and like you've been married for many years and your friends have been married for many years, your friends might comment on you guys are acting like a newlywed couple. Like you guys are so close, you're so affectionate, you still like, you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed is not the right expression. But you still, like your eyes still light up when you look at each other. That's a better one. Like, what's your secret? How do you do it? And well, you're just so good for each other. You're just so compatible for each other. But also, I think you guys, like you have your own lives, you have your own things going on, and you know, that creates the time and space for you guys to miss each other. And then you just come back and you're like magnets. And yeah, you're gonna have a very prosperous, physical relationship for a very long time. For your romance angels card, we have playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So you guys, I mean, literally as this card says, you'll be very playful together. I feel like you'll be very flirty with each other. You might, I see you guys, like, I didn't want to say this before because I thought it might be awkward, but I do see you guys having some level of PDA, as much as you are comfortable with, obviously, even if that's just like you hold hands in public all the time. If you are comfortable with like hugging and kissing in public and things like that, it might be something that you do, but I do see people admiring the connection that you have, admiring the affection that you have. You remind each other not to take life so seriously and to just have fun. Like you forget about all your troubles and all your stresses when you're together, and you let that light shine through, because you guys have that same like love for life, that same playful, adventurous spark in you. You're definitely going to help reignite that within them. So for the final cards we have here, these are going to be the major lessons that you teach each other. So we will start with the major lesson that you teach your future spouse. and there's unlikely. You teach your future spouse to believe in the impossible. From the start, your future spouse doubted if the two of you would end up together. They doubted if you would like them. They doubted if you would want something serious. Perhaps if you guys did have a separation, or if you will have a separation, they maybe will doubt that you will come back, or doubt that they will ever be like happy in the same way that they were. I feel like throughout this whole experience, maybe even both of you are feeling like this isn't going to come together. You're really doubting it because it doesn't seem likely on the surface. It doesn't seem likely in the 3D. So you're teaching your future spouse to keep faith and to keep that wonder, and just remember that anything is possible and anything can happen. So to never get too comfortable or be too sure that you know what's going on. You might introduce your future spouse to the possibility of a higher power. They may start to believe in the power of the universe or in the divine because of you, and be more open to magic happening in their life. You may even help your future spouse to unlock some of their spiritual and psychic gifts. So this is really cool. Now, as for the major lesson that they teach you, it's wait. So this is patience and divine timing. If you guys do choose to wait for this connection and to see it through to the end and to go forward with this person to marriage, you will see how worth the wait this was. You will learn such a valuable lesson of divine timing. Everything happens at the right time. Everything happens when it's supposed to happen. And everything is happening because it's meant to be happening this way. And things that maybe once felt like punishment or things that felt like blockages, now they feel like a blessing. Now they feel like a part of the process. So you're both teaching each other this very spiritual lesson. This one is more like patience, and this one is more like faith, but they are quite similar, because it's like things may seem impossible, but if you just give it time and if you just wait, everything is going to turn out perfectly. Everything is going to unfold in the way that it was meant to, and every last thing will fall into place. Okay, so I'm going to end your reading there. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!